One Piece. I can transform into Marvel. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 76. Draw superheroes again. HMM. What do you mean? The 5 elders did not understand Lingfan's meaning for a moment. The 7 warlords, the 4 emperors, are all my enemies. What I mean is that you should not care about the fight between us, right? Lingfan clearly expressed this meaning. The 5 elders immediately said, forget about the 4 emperors. You can attack if you want, but it is written in the agreement that as a 7 warlord, you cannot attack other 7 warlords without special reasons. After all, you are allies of the Navy and the world government and cannot attack each other. Crocodile is planning to illegally occupy Alabasta, and maybe he can even awaken the ancient weapon Pluto. Are you sure he can achieve his goal? Lingfan sneered. Many 7 warlords have their own rebellious ideas. How can I be the same as other 7 warlords? I need to exercise the power of supervision. If I encounter a 7 warlord who is not good for the Navy and the world government, can I eliminate him? If you disagree, then what's the point of me being a 7 warlord? Lingfan shook his head. If you don't agree, you can say, now that the 7 warlords agreement has not taken effect, and I will take down Flying Squirrel and others. Lingfan's momentum suddenly changed, and the whole person suddenly burst out with a kind of momentum. This momentum is not the domineering, but just the momentum of a person. However, this momentum has already made Flying Squirrel completely breathless. What level of strongman is this? Flying Squirrel was shocked. He never thought that Lingfan would be so strong. Are you threatening me, Lingfan? The 5 elders asked in a low voice. Yes, the Red Earl, the Golden Lion, Barrett, these strong men have always been here with me. It should be no problem to become the most special existence among the 7 warlords. I will only take action if I'm sure that there is something disadvantageous to the world government and the Navy. If you still don't agree, then the 7 warlords, find someone else to do it. Lingfan snorted coldly, revealing a trace of disdain. The 5 elders were silent for a while. On the one hand, they were afraid of the power of Lingfan's forces, and on the other hand, they really wanted to use Lingfan. In the end, they agreed to Lingfan's request. Things became much simpler afterwards. The Flying Squirrel left the strange island, and the next day, the news that Lingfan joined the 7 warlords of the sea once again made headlines. The Navy made a big publicity of this time to improve its prestige. Of course, the bounty of Lingfan's entire forces was revoked. Everything is ready. We should leave here. The second half of the Grand Line is our destination. Lingfan summoned all his men within a few days, and the entire Avengers Alliance came out in full force. All his men boarded the warships, and all weapons and resources were taken away. Lingfan had already planned to leave the West Sea and officially enter the Grand Line. Golden Lion, it's up to you. After Lingfan finished speaking, the Golden Lion nodded, so the warships all floated up under the touch of the floating fruit, and then Waldo used the Momo fruit to increase the speed of the warships by 100 times. Finally, everyone arrived at the Twin Gorge. Okay, after we get here, we won't fly anymore, otherwise it will be boring. After Lingfan gave the order, 50 warships slowly landed on the sea. Crocus, who was reading the newspaper there, was shocked. 50 warships fell from the sky. This scene was too shocking. One of the warships greeted him directly. Crocus, long time no see. Barrett was once a master on the Pirate King's ship, so he naturally knew the ship's doctor on his ship. You are? ? Barrett? ? Crocus was very surprised. They didn't have a good relationship, but when Crocus saw Lingfan and Zoro there, he knew that they were planning to officially enter the Grand Line. Did the dragon go out to sea? Crocus could feel the changes in Lingfan every year. After so many years, how strong has Lingfan become? After a while of greeting, Lingfan then ordered his men to move forward. Of the 7 routes, the one he chose was naturally the one chosen by Luffy. The weather in the Grand Line was very strange, and the compass and other equipment were out of service. Only by relying on the record pointer could we clearly know the location below. Fortunately, there were record pointers and permanent record pointers of many important locations on Lingfan's warship, so he didn't get lost. As Lingfan led the fleet to the Grand Line, the sacred plan on Lingfan's wrist sent a wave of fluctuations. Lingfan immediately lowered his head and asked, "Sacred plan? What's the matter?" Sacred plan said, "Congratulations host. Joined the 7 warlords of the sea. Due to the publicity of the world government, your event has completely affected the entire sea. Therefore, you have completed a major event. So, this time I will give you the power to randomly select a hero. This time the power is a little different. You can exclude 2 of the 5 heroes." The system said, "Oh. 5 heroes can exclude 2? Not bad. Tell me about it." Lingfan also became interested. He had been dormant for 18 years and had not chosen a hero again. This time, he was looking forward to soaring into the sky again. Hero 1, Super Venom. An enhanced version of Venom. It can increase your overall abilities, is not afraid of sound waves, and will not amplify your evil thoughts. It has no shortcomings, and can coexist with you. You don't need to change to enhance your own strength. Hero 2, Thor. Thor's hammer. Thor, the god of thunder in Marvel movies, although still at the Thor's hammer stage, is already a god. Hero 3, Black Panther. The king of Wakanda. After eating a piece of heart-shaped herb, his senses and physical properties are greatly enhanced, thus gaining superhuman speed, acuity, strength, and endurance. Hero 4, Magneto. The supervillain in the X-Men. He controls the Earth's magnetic field and uses it to make himself fly. Hero 5, Iron Man. A physicist, engineer, genius inventor, with super combat armor. He also has a super artificial intelligence Jarvis. Who do you want to exclude? Question mark? The system asked. Lingfan thought about it and realized that he already had Wolverine and Deadpool, so it was useless to have Black Panther, so he ruled out Black Panther first. Then there is Magneto. It sounds powerful, but in the world of pirates, the enemy has observation haki and armament haki. When the enemy predicts Lingfan's magnetic attack, and then wraps his whole body in armament haki to harden and be invulnerable, no matter how strong the magnetism is, it cannot completely kill the enemy. Compared with Magneto, Super Venom, Thor, and Iron Man are all very practical. Therefore, Lingfan still ruled out Magneto. Excluding these 2, please help me choose these 3. Lingfan also made a decision. Ding ding ding. The divine plan then reminded, "Congratulations, host. You got it randomly, and you actually got him." Chapter 77 I drew Iron Man. What did you draw? System, don't keep me in suspense, just tell me directly. Lingfan urged. You drew Iron Man. Tony Stark. The voice of the system came. So it's Iron Man. It's really good. Lingfan said to his sacred plan excitedly, start the super transformation form. Then, 5 white lights immediately enveloped Lingfan's body, and the white light disappeared quickly. After disappearing, Lingfan's whole body turned into a red mecha form. Did Iron Man directly turn into mecha mode? Lingfan asked. Yes, Iron Man's physical fitness in human form is not much higher than that of normal people, so the system defaults to Iron Man and directly turns into mecha mode. After Lingfan turned into Iron Man, it was equivalent to entering the mecha. Unexpectedly, he had a very clear vision in the mecha, and he controlled his whole body's movements very smoothly. It was obvious that there was a power-driven device, allowing Lingfan to make any movements more easily. The subordinates around him were all very surprised and asked, Master Lingfan, have you transformed again? This time you turned into a steel mecha? Lingfan nodded and said, yes, steel mecha. I should be able to transform into more people with different abilities later. You are indeed worthy of being the god of transformation. The subordinates couldn't help but compliment him. After all, Lingfan's abilities were very magical in the eyes of others. By the way, system, if I want to return to Stark's human form, how can I do it? After all, I still need Stark's scientific ability. Lingfan said, I'm only responsible for the transformation. If you want to control the mecha, just find Jarvis. A voice came from the divine plan. Jarvis? Lingfan also asked. Hello, I'm Jarvis. Is there anything I can do for you? A voice suddenly came from the mecha. Obviously, this is Iron Man's artificial intelligence, Jarvis. You are Jarvis. Can you help me with anything? Lingfan asked directly. I can help you control the mecha. In this world, if you want to take off the mecha, I will directly transform the mecha into a suitcase. If necessary, I can also help you hide it. Jarvis said. Well, help me first, let me feel it. Lingfan ordered. Then Jarvis said, okay. The mecha on Lingfan flew away automatically, assembled together at a very fast speed, and finally turned into a silver suitcase. This scene was like a transformer, which surprised Lingfan very much. You can change back anytime you want. Just tell me. Jarvis said. As long as it is related to the mecha, just ask me. Jarvis said. Then, combine it. I want to see the ability of the mecha. After Lingfan finished speaking, Iron Man's battle mecha was combined with Lingfan again. It may not be so easy to control, but with your IQ, you should be able to figure out the method of control soon. Jarvis said. By your good words. Lingfan then began to use propulsion, left and right feet, hands, began to try to propel, and finally Lingfan slowly floated in the air. It's amazing. It can fly successfully for the first time. Jarvis praised. Lingfan found that this feeling should be remembered. Every time the energy released by himself is in a suitable proportion, the mecha will remain suspended very steadily. If you want to soar into the sky, you need to release more propulsion devices on your limbs. Although Iron Man's armor is very good, the energy is limited. After it is used up, the mecha will only retain a certain effect. But don't forget that Lingfan can also transform into other superheroes. Iron Man's significance to Lingfan is actually mainly energy rays, this energy attack, and Iron Man's genius brain, research in various fields. On the way to the Grand Line, Lingfan spent a lot of time adapting to the transformation into Iron Man, and finally the entire warship arrived at the first stop of the Grand Line. Since the route chosen by Lingfan is the middle route, it is bound to reach Alabasta, so the first stop is to reach Whiskey Peak. Dozens of warships have been modified to be more powerful, and the flag of Lingfan's Avengers is also flying on the warships. Therefore, after arriving here, Lingfan and others received a warm welcome. Welcome here. This is an island that welcomes pirates. Congratulations on coming to the Grand Line. Countless pirates excitedly applauded Lingfan and his companions. They saw that Lingfan and his companions seemed to be very welcoming. What's going on? It seems to be different from the Grand Line we imagined. Isn't this a place where vicious pirates gather? How can pirates be welcomed? The pirates around Lingfan were all very confused. Lingfan naturally knew the reason. Whiskey Peak is the outpost of Baroque Works. Sand Crocodile is really a scheming person. He plans to control the fourth route of the Grand Line by using his power. If there are powerful and useful people, they will be recruited by him. If they oppose him, I'm afraid they will die here. Although this place looks like a place that welcomes pirates, it is actually a gathering place for bounty hunters. It is also a branch of Baroque Works. Lingfan told everything, and his men naturally knew the conspiracy of Whiskey Peak. Don't worry, they won't attack us for now. We should eat and drink. With Lingfan's strength, how could a weak force like Baroque Walker shake him? Because they needed to store magnetic force for the recording pointer, Lingfan and others directly anchored at the port. Welcome. I'm the mayor here, Mama. A curly-haired man said very hospitably. There was also a woman with terrifying muscles next to him. Lingfan recognized the two people at a glance. One was Mr. 8 and the other was Miss Monday. The two belonged to the Baroque group. But Mr. 8 was an undercover, and his actual identity was Ikaram, the captain of the Alabasta Kingdom Guard. The two groups of people had their own plans. Lingfan was naturally fearless, and planned to let his men eat and drink, while Ikaram naturally planned to get everyone drunk, and then count their trophies one by one. Mama Ikaram made a very strange sound, as if he was practicing his voice. We have prepared delicious food to entertain you. Don't worry, we won't charge you a penny. This is the paradise of pirates. Have fun. Everyone put chicken legs and beer into their mouths. After a big meal, most people fell asleep. By late at night, almost everyone had fallen asleep. Lingfan also deliberately fell on the table, pretending that he was drunk. Chapter 78 Ikaram's Shock. Then Lingfan quietly came to the roof and found that the masters under his command were also hiding around. Shh, don't make any noise. See what they want to do. I will do it when I say so, Ling Fan reminded. Yeah. Red Earl and others naturally understood what Ling Fan meant. Then I heard Icolum and Miss Monday start talking. Who are these guys? They actually have 50 fleets. So many members? More than our Baroque people. So what? Aren't they knocked out by us? Said another person. Alas, with so many people, our food and wine have been eaten by them. I don't know if we should do this. Maybe there are not many bounty hunters among them. Then, the two began to compare, but no matter how they compared, they didn't find any bounty hunters. Occasionally, a few bounty hunters appeared, but the bounties were not high. Strange, such a huge pirate force, there is no bounty, it's really strange. Icolum couldn't help but complain. Yes, impossible. Although there are a few people who want a bounty, the bounties are pitifully small. I really want to know who their leader is. Maybe there will be a bounty for their leader? Monday asked. That makes sense. Their leader seems to be the 20-year-old boy with white skin and black hair. He looks about 25 or 26 years old. Let's compare them, Icolum said. Seeing this, Ling Fan immediately said, I'll go tease them. Do you have my previous bounty? It's really boring. But I'm also bored. I have bounties from all our senior executives. Let's tease them together. The Red Earl also showed a wicked smile. Afterwards, everyone immediately returned to the place where they had originally eaten. Several people fell together, and Ling Fan naturally put the bounty on himself. Soon, Icolum and Monday came here, showing Ling Fan's face, looking at it for a long time, and said in great confusion, I don't know if it's a deterrent. I seem to have seen his face on the pattern on their flag somewhere. Monday immediately said, maybe, we have robbed a pirate with a high bounty this time. Hurry up and compare it with the latest bounty, AAA. Iker emerged and handed the bounty list in his hand to Monday. Monday then naturally began to look through it, but he didn't see the bounty for Ling Fan until the end of the bounty list. No way, there is no bounty for this guy. Are we not catching the wrong person? These people are not pirates. Impossible. Look at these people's clothes, and then look at this pirate flag. It is obvious that these pirates are a group of pirates without any reputation. These people, let them go after they wake up. Ikaram said helplessly. The reason why there is no bounty is naturally because Ling Fan joined the 7 warlords of the sea, so the bounty was revoked. In the latest bounty list, there is naturally no bounty for Ling Fan and Ling Fan's men. Of course, there are some bounties for some pirates who made mistakes or newly joined. Ling Fan saw that the time was right, so he turned over and showed the bounty in his hand. Mr. 8, look, isn't that his own photo? He brought his own bounty, Monday said excitedly, and took the bounty in his hand. When Monday saw the bounty value, he looked at Ling Fan in disbelief. What? This is impossible. How can this be? This can't be true. At this time, Monday was a little at a loss, and Ikalam also asked in confusion, what's wrong? Look, this bounty. Monday then handed the bounty list to Ikalam. Ikalam took the list and took a look. First, there were the 2 words bounty, and below was Ling Fan's photo. It was obvious that the person in front of him was the person in the photo, which meant that he was indeed bountied. Then, Ikalam saw a string of numbers at the end. 200 million berries. Such a high bounty. This guy. Ikalam was interrupted by Monday before he finished his sigh. Look carefully, there are several zeros at the end. Monday said. Let me count. Oh my god. I'm not dreaming. The bounty on this guy's 2 billion. Just entered the Grand Line, and he has a bounty of 2 billion. Wait, his name is Ling Fan. The god of change, Ling Fan. No mistake. This guy is Ling Fan, one of the latest 7 warlords of the sea who has become famous recently. My god. We have kicked the iron plate this time. Ikalam was also panicked. No wonder he has 50 warships. It turns out that he is one of the strongest forces in the world. I still don't quite believe it. If he is really Ling Fan, why would he be poisoned by us? Maybe he is a fan of Ling Fan. Or something like that, just pretending to be Ling Fan. Monday also guessed. It's not ruled out. Why don't you do this? Look, these are also bounties. Let's take a look at the bounties of his subordinates. After a minute, the two were completely dumbfounded. Ling Fan's subordinates, Red Earl, Golden Lion, Barrett, He is not a person they can touch. The bounty of more than 1 billion has far exceeded their cognition. Lingfen stopped pretending and stood up with his men. When they stood up in unison, Ikarim and Monday were shocked. Master Lingfen, are you awake? I wonder if the food and drinks are good. If there is anything that is not good enough for you, just let me know. Well, Ikarim said very politely. Logically, if it were 200 million enemies, Ikarim and Monday would still be ready to fight, but this is 2 billion enemies. The level belongs to the level of the 4 emperors who dominate the world. With just 2 agents, what waves can they make? However, at this time, Ikarim's heart was full of hope. If it is this person, maybe he can save Alabasta. Ikarim was about to say something. At this time, he only heard a commotion. Under the perception of the domineering aura of observation, it turned out that countless bounty hunters had surrounded the house. Now that you know our identities, are you still going to fight us? Lingfen smiled faintly, as if he didn't care about the predicament at all. Misunderstanding. Leave it to me. Ikarim calmed Lingfen and others, and immediately ran out to persuade his companions. Sorry, our men were reckless, please forgive me. Zhao Yi also apologized as much as possible. She was also afraid that Lingfen would be unhappy and destroy the entire island. Chapter 79. Battle against Baroque Works. Kill them. Collect the bounty. Haha. The warships alone are enough to take our toll. I didn't expect to get such a big reward. Many pirates outside were shouting excitedly, not knowing who they had offended. Ikarim immediately ran outside to persuade his men to stop. However, greed is endless, and those bounty hunters have completely ignored so much. No, you can't do this. You don't know what kind of people are inside. Ikarim persuaded earnestly. At this moment, a man wearing a crown and a 9 on his face has appeared. He is Mr. 9. We not only have you, Mr. 8, but also Miss Monday, and I, Mr. 9 and Miss Wednesday. 4 agents. Can't we deal with the people inside? Mr. 9 said very arrogantly. With the introduction of Mr. 9, Miss Wednesday also came out. She was naturally a woman with light blue hair. Her real identity was the Princess of Alabasta, Vivi. Let's go. Miss Wednesday. Mr. 9 rushed into the room without hesitation. Ikarim would not take the initiative to attack Lingfen. Monday, who was in the room, saw countless people rushing in and immediately said, not good. It seems that the negotiation has failed. I'll hold on. You guys run. However, how could Lingfen run? How could a strong man like him run away because of a group of bounty hunters? There's no need for that. I don't even have the ability of the fruit, and I don't even have the desire to fight. Lingfen shook his head and refused to run away. In the end, countless people poured into the room, densely packed. All of them were bounty hunters, and of course they were also branches of Baroque Works. Huh. You woke up. Next, I'm going to kill you. Mr. 9 was also ready to take action. Boring. Lingfen said lightly, and then he shrank in pain, and his whole body immediately burst out with an extremely terrifying momentum. This momentum was very powerful and ordinary people could not resist it at all. That's right, Lingfen used the Conqueror's Haki directly and instantly knocked down everyone in front of him. Decades of training were not in vain. Lingfen had already tempered his strength to a terrifying level. Without using transformation, he could handle most battles. Countless bounty hunters fell, except for the 4 intermediate agents of Baroque Works. What's going on? Our people were killed without even touching us. It's really terrible. The 4 Baroque agents were stunned. Everything that happened before their eyes had already exceeded their cognition. It was the first time they had seen the ability to knock down so many people in an instant. Lingfen then asked lightly, do you know why I left you here? I don't know. If you have any questions, you can ask us directly. It's all our fault. Yes. We didn't expect you to be such a terrifying pirate. Lingfen looked at everyone and asked, what's the code name of the vice president of your Baroque Works? Miss All Sunday. Naturally, everyone didn't dare to deceive Lingfen anymore. Not to mention Lingfen. Any pirate beside Lingfen, SUI, can beat their president Mr. Zero. I see. It seems to be her. Do you have a permanent record pointer that leads directly to Alabasta? Lingfen asked. We The agents hesitated for a moment. But at this moment, a yellow-green figure fell from the sky. A man in black clothes, with permed hair and sunglasses, and a woman with an umbrella and a yellow hat appeared in front of Ling Fan and others. Are you kidding? Huh. So many people can't kill an invading enemy. Haha. After all, this is the difference in our levels. Both of them began to ridicule their own family. Ikaram said, are you here to laugh at us? The man in sunglasses said, that's the purpose. Of course we are here, to carry out the mission. The woman said with a smile. Want to defeat them? That's impossible. You can't reach them. Ikaram also stopped them. But unexpectedly, the two agents said with disdain, do you think we are so boring? What are we doing in such a remote corner of the Grand Line? Don't you understand at all? The criminal that the boss sent us to solve is here. The man in sunglasses said. Who is this? Ling Fan asked. This is Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine. Ikaram said. The boss said that my secret has been discovered. Although I don't know what the secret is, the company motto is mystery. No matter who is in the company, you must not trace their origins. This is the rule. If someone knows the boss's secret, of course there is only one way to go. Mr. 5 said. So we investigated carefully to find out who knew the boss's secret. The result was incredible. We found an important person from a certain kingdom who had sneaked into our Baroque works. Miss Valentine said. No need to say more. Ling Fan then walked directly in front of them and said, Mr. Zero is the president of Baroque Works, and his name is Crocodile. What? Ling Fan's words shocked even the agents. After all, Mr. Zero's identity has always been the most mysterious, and Ling Fan actually said it so easily. Who are you? How do you know this kind of news? Mr. 5 asked in confusion. Mr. 8 is the captain of the Alabaster Kingdom Guard, and Miss Wednesday is the daughter of the King of Alabaster, Princess Vivi. If everyone still doubted Ling Fan's words in the first sentence, at least 4 people knew the actual situation in the second sentence. Who are you? Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine didn't care about other people at all now, because what Ling Fan said was the same as the result of their investigation. Forget it, it doesn't matter. You all will be killed anyway. After all, this is the boss's order. Mr. 5 also said coldly. Huh, interesting. This is the first time I've heard such a funny joke. Ling Fan's eyes turned cold. Even if the 4 emperors came, they might not be able to kill Ling Fan, let alone a small agent. Then, Mr. 5 began to pick his nose disgustingly, because he was a devil fruit user, and the budger he picked out could explode. It's disgusting. I can't stand it. Golden Lion cursed with a smile. Then you go deal with that woman. Ling Fan said. Barrett, kill this Mr. 5. No problem. Golden Lion and Barrett also sneered. It was too easy for the two of them to deal with 2 agents. Chapter 80 Occupying Whiskey Mountain. HMPH. We don't kill nameless people. Mr. 5 said in a very suicidal way. His face was filled with a smug smile. As a devil fruit user, she never put anyone in her eyes. That's right. Tell me your names. Valentine also said. I'm Barrett. I used to be a crew member on the Pirate King's ship, and I once fought a tie with Pluto Rayleigh. I'm Golden Lion, a man who is on par with the 4 emperors Whitebeard and Roger. Golden Lion also smiled faintly. What? Mr. 5 and Valentine looked at each other and then started laughing. Obviously, they didn't believe what the master said at all. Go to hell, you liars. Mr. 5 said as he flicked his budger out, and soon, the budger exploded. Bang! A burst of smoke and dust swirled, and no one knew what would happen to Barrett. At the same time, Miss Valentine began to speak. I'm the user of the light flowed fruit. I can make myself very heavy. This way I can crush you to death. Valentine smiled triumphantly and jumped into the air in an attempt to crush Golden Lion to death instantly. Golden Lion got the floating fruit, but the light floating fruit got the superior fruit. In terms of controlling gravity, Golden Lion Shiki is the ancestor. Swoosh. Barrett quickly moved out of the smoke and dust, and his whole body was not hurt at all. What? Mr. 5 was grabbed by the neck by Barrett. Barrett laughed evilly and smashed Mr. 5 to the ground. With a bang, Mr. 5 was unconscious. Go to hell. Valentine also smashed down. Golden Lion opened his hands calmly and said, Lion's power roll. Then the whole ground quickly trapped Miss Valentine. I can't breathe. Golden Lion exerted a lot of pressure, and Valentine naturally had no ability to resist. Seeing this, Ling Fan asked, even the 4 emperors may not be our opponents, let alone you little people. I only give you one chance, are you willing to surrender? Ling Fan asked. Everyone in Baroque works, if you surrender, you can live, but if you dare to resist, kill without mercy. Ling Fan showed his cold side. Under the threat of Ling Fan's strong strength, no one dared to go against Ling Fan and others. When everyone knew that Ling Fan's bounty was as high as 2 billion and his subordinates' bounties were also more than 1 billion, everyone gave up the idea of resistance. I surrender. Valentine's Day also expressed his surrender, and Mr. 5 naturally joined Ling Fan's camp after waking up, not because of anything else, just because Ling Fan was strong. He no longer wanted to die. Many bounty hunters in the entire Whiskey Peak have joined Ling Fan's camp, and Ling Fan's power has become even larger. Ling Fan plans to gather all kinds of talents along the way, to make his power truly the most influential force in the entire sea. The matter of Whiskey Peak is basically over, and no one here is willing to be an enemy of Ling Fan anymore. However, Ikelam and Princess Vivi naturally want to entrust the matter of saving the kingdom to Ling Fan. Lord Ling Fan, please. Can you do me this favor? If we save Alabasta, this country will give you many rewards. Ikeram also pleaded very sincerely. Reward? What kind of reward do you think I need? Ling Fan also shook his head, as if Ikeram's words did not move him. Please help me. This is my country. I want to save my country. There is a war there now. I want to end this war. But, I know I'm not capable enough. Please help me. Okay. I can agree to any request you make. Princess Vivi also said with tears in her eyes. The Captain America gene in Ling Fan's body was at work. Ling Fan naturally ended the conspiracy behind all this. If she wanted to find Robin, she would definitely fight Crocodile. In fact, there was no problem in agreeing to her, but Ling Fan was not a living bodhisattva. How could he give up such a good opportunity? Whatever request you say, you can meet it. Is this true? Ling Fan asked. No one knew what Ling Fan wanted at this time. Ling Fan acted very calmly. Then I need the kingdom of Alabasta to do 3 things for me. Is that possible? Ling Fan said. 3 things? Tell me. Princess Vivi asked. Are you going to keep your promise? Ling Fan then looked at Ikeram. Ikeram naturally understood what Ling Fan meant. Well, I will be a witness, and everyone else will be witnesses. If possible, can we sign an agreement at that time? That's not necessary. As people of the kingdom of Alabasta, you will not go back on your word. Ling Fan raised his index finger and said, the first thing, please allow Robin and I to go to the King's Cemetery in Alabasta. King's Cemetery? Robin? Ikeram and Princess Vivi did not understand what Ling Fan meant. Don't worry about who Robin is. Anyway, this is the first condition. If you don't agree, then I won't help you. Actually, even if you don't agree, I can go and see it myself, but as the saying goes, a thief is a thief who takes things without asking. I have my own principles. After Ling Fan said this, his image became more glorious, making people feel that he was stronger and different. Well, we agree to this. Ikelam and Princess Vivi both agreed to this. Ling Fan nodded. This matter was agreed. Robin would be able to easily come to the King's Cemetery and read the historical text about Pluto. Ling Fan then said, the second thing is that we, the Avengers, will establish a branch in Alabasta. The scale can be small, but Alabasta must give us this power, that is, official authorization. The reason why Ling Fan did this was not to control Alabasta, but to make plans for the future. Ling Fan is now just an alliance, or a force, without any political color. Therefore, if it is just a stronghold, it will not affect the regime of Alabasta. In order to restore peace in Alabasta, Princess Vivi and Ikeram still accepted it. The third thing has not been thought about yet. Let's talk about it later. Since you have agreed to these 2 points, then I will help you. Ling Fan reached a consensus with Princess Vivi and Ikeram. Ling Fan completely controlled the Whiskey Peak, leaving those Baroque personnel behind, and placed those who were very loyal to him on the Whiskey Peak. The flags of the Avengers representing Ling Fan's forces were planted all over the Whiskey Peak, which was considered to be completely occupied. In the future, entering the 4th route of the Grand Line will also be under my eyes. Ling Fan showed a meaningful smile. Chapter 81 Dangli and Brocky. Ling Fan's smile and ambition had already been noticed by his subordinates behind him. Lord Ling Fan, I used to think that you just wanted to rescue your friends, but now it seems that you are really ambitious. The Golden Lion also laughed. Following a master with goals and ambitions is better than running around aimlessly, don't you think? Ling Fan asked. Yes, if you hadn't rescued me in Push City, I might have cut off my legs by now. The Golden Lion also said jokingly. I don't know if you have the idea of destroying the East China Sea now? Ling Fan asked. The Golden Lion seemed to know that he had said too much, so he didn't dare to speak. Don't talk about the East China Sea. All sea areas cannot be destroyed. Our goals are far-reaching, and we must not be blinded by those temporary hatreds. Ling Fan narrowed his eyes and looked at the sea and said, we chase the entire sea. It is to give everyone freedom. I understand. The Golden Lion nodded. He also knew that he was too narrow-minded in the past. Revenge on Garp and the Navy were just his means of revenge. He was not working towards the same ultimate goal as Ling Fan. It's good that you understand. Next, we should leave here. Princess Vivi and I Kareem, let's continue to follow the direction of the magnetic pointer. Ling Fan said. Okay, we can indeed reach Alabasta by following the magnetic pointer. I Kareem said. Don't worry, let's go to the small garden first. There are 2 old friends there. Ling Fan said. Old friends? Everyone else was quite puzzled. Cassie, Oimo, didn't you say you were going to find Donley and Brokey? Here's your chance this time. Ling Fan said. What? Master Ling Fan, you are not lying to us, are you? Yes. Can we see our boss so soon? Cassie and Oimo are the giants guarding the gate of Judicial Island. Because of the deception of the Navy, they were supposed to help them guard the gate for free, but because of Ling Fan, they finally joined Ling Fan's camp. Now Ling Fan is going to fulfill his promise. Next stop, the ancient island, the small garden. By the way, when you get there, don't get bitten by mosquitoes or something. It will cause big problems for your body. Ling Fan's warning naturally worked, and the mosquito repellent products of the entire Whiskey Peak were almost sold out. Okay, let's go. Under Ling Fan's order, dozens of ships began to sail towards the small garden. Naturally, some people in the Baroque works disguised themselves as civilians to monitor every move here. Everything Ling Fan did was reported to the headquarters. Don't worry, the headquarters will handle it. A very calm voice said, and then hung up the phone. Ling Fan, is it really you? The man, wearing a hat, showed a happy expression, and then said, however, there are some things I must do. Then the man dialed a phone. Mr. 3, you and Miss Golden Week, go to the small garden immediately. Lead the billions of elders to intercept the enemy. Yes, Miss. All. Sunday. The other end of the phone also responded. It took a few days for Ling Fan to follow the record pointer and finally came to an island. This island was obviously an ancient island. The plants here were very similar to the original Jurassic era on Earth. There were coniferous forests everywhere, various cycads and ferns, and endless evergreen fields. The most iconic thing was the volcano in the distance. Ling Fan knew that every time the volcano erupted, it was a time for the 2 giants to duel. In order to compete for who was the bravest warrior in Elbaf, the 2 of them forgot the reason for the battle in the end. Well, Cassie, Oimo, you 2 can go with me. The others can find a suitable place here and set up camp. If you want to eat wild game, go and hunt it yourself. As the second island of the 4th route of the Grand Line, I think it is necessary to send a strong team to garrison here. Ling Fan's idea is very simple. The Grand Line is a relatively difficult area for the Navy and the world government to reach. In order to recruit talents in the future, Ling Fan plans to establish a small branch in all places along the way. In this way, the power of the Avengers will undoubtedly become larger, and Ling Fan will not leave too many troops. After all, the little garden is an uninhabited island. At this time, the volcano suddenly erupted. Boom boom boom. Lava began to spew out, the whole ground began to shake, and countless volcanic ash fell around. After the volcano began to erupt, the earth did not stop shaking, but the shaking became more and more severe. Ah, what is this? Cassie was also a little at a loss. There should be some monster. Oimo was also a little timid. Ling Fan said speechlessly, can't you hear it? This is the footsteps of the giants. Although it is not clear due to the sound of the volcanic eruption, it can still be heard. Transform into Iron Man. Ling Fan instantly transformed into Iron Man. Jarvis, please report the location of the other two giants. Ling Fan asked in the mecha. It has been located for you. Jarvis instantly determined the location of Brokey and Angli. Come with me. I found them. Ling Fan flew over directly, and at the same time, the two giants beside him also quickly followed Ling Fan and rushed over. Under the volcano, as expected, there were two giants holding weapons and fighting. Humph. The winner this time. It must be me. Brokey. No. The winner this time. It must be me. Dangli. I remember, it was a draw last time. This time, we must decide the winner. Bang. The two giants didn't say a word, and they started fighting with the weapons in their hands. The fight was so dark. The power of the giants is quite terrifying. Once the two of them fight, it will never end. You two stop. Ling Fan said. But Ling Fan's voice was too soft, and the two were so excited that they ignored him. Ling Fan said awkwardly, it seems that I have to beat them up. Transform. Hulk. Fusion of Wolverine and Deadpool. Ling Fan's voice fell, and his form changed directly, with 5 white lights all over his body. Ling Fan, with Hulk as the main body, became super huge at this time, but in the eyes of the two giants, he was still a dwarf. Hey, I didn't expect that there would be guests on the island. This guy looks very strong. Brokey said excitedly. Yeah. Why don't we let this guy be the referee? Exclamation mark. This way our duel will have a result. Dangli said. I say, can you let me say something? Ling Fan said unhappily. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 82 Mr. Three's Raid. You tell me. Go ahead. I'm so sorry. The two gave Ling Fan a chance to speak. You are the captain of the giant soldier pirates, right? I found your crew here. Do you want to meet them? Ling Fan said. What? Is this true? We haven't seen our crew for a long time. Yeah. There have been almost no guests here for so many years. Are you lying to us? Because a long time had passed, Dangli and Brokey were naturally a little bit unbelievable. Wait a moment. Ling Fan's voice just fell, and then heard an excited shout. Wow. Captain. You are really here. Wow. It's Captain Dangli. And Brokey. Cassie and Oimo were in tears. After all, they didn't know how long they hadn't seen each other. It's you. The two were naturally very happy. They immediately put away their weapons and warmly entertained their two former subordinates. Ling Fan was naturally entertained together. At this time, Ling Fan was like a little giant. Eating meat with them seemed very harmonious. It was because Zoro didn't come at this time. If he had come, it would really be a gathering of giants. Several people talked about everything, sharing all the grievances and happiness over the years. In the end, they couldn't get around Ling Fan. Cassie and Oima began to thank Ling Fan. Thank you, Lord Ling Fan. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have met the two captains. It's okay, I promised you something, and I must do it. Otherwise, what's the difference between it and the Navy and the world government? Ling Fan smiled indifferently and didn't take it to heart. Damn Navy. Damn world government. How dare they deceive you two like this? Dangli also gritted his teeth, wishing he could destroy the Navy right now. Going to sea is for freedom, to become a real Elbaf warrior. Otherwise, there would be no meaning for our giant soldier pirates. Brokey also understood Donla's thoughts. However, after Brokey talked about the real Elbaf warriors, Donli got angry again. Unfortunately, at this moment, the volcano erupted again. The volcano boomed, as if it was the bell for a duel. The two were still talking and laughing, and then they picked up their weapons, as if they had agreed. The weapons of the two smashed heavily together again, making Cassie, Oimo and Ling Fan very embarrassed. Captain, what are you doing? Yeah, why are you killing each other? Our pirate group still needs you. Kathy and Oimo persuaded. I don't know, my body just can't help it. We have dueled countless times, originally to decide who is the bravest warrior in Elbaf. Now, those are not important anymore. When the volcano erupts, we will take up arms. Fight each other until the other dies. Dangli and Brokey were absolutely consistent on this point for some reason. Then the two were ready to fight again. Please stop. Yes. There is no point in doing this. No matter how much Kathy and Oimo persuaded them, the two wanted to fight to the death. Lingfen also shook his head and said, there is no way. It's really a headache. It seems that you two can't persuade them. Next, I have to stop them. Little giant, don't stop us. I'm afraid we will hurt you. Yes, although you are bigger than ordinary people, you are still no match for us. When Dangli and Brokey's weapons were about to collide again, Lingfen moved. Swoosh. Boom. Lingfan's feet even stepped on a big pit. At this time, Lingfan came to the two giants like a gust of wind. The adamantium claws on his hands were stretched out and blocked the weapons of the two. Then, there were two clangs. The swords in the hands of the two giants were broken into two and fell to the ground. How is it possible? This is the hardest weapon of Elbaf. Dangli and Brokey were both quite shocked. They didn't expect that their weapons would be broken by the green little giant in front of them at a glance. You actually grew claws? There is such a thing. Dangli was shocked. Yes, such hard claws are definitely not something that ordinary people can have. Brokey also looked at Lingfan with admiration. This is my ability. Now, do you still want to fight? There are no weapons anymore. Lingfan said. We still have shields. The two giants raised their shields again and rushed towards each other. Am I still unable to persuade you two? Lingfan then stretched out his hands, one on the left and one on the right, and pushed them respectively. The two giants rushed at them with all their strength. That level of strength is very strong. But unexpectedly, the two were stopped by Lingfan. How about it? You can use all your strength to see who is stronger than us. Lingfan's mouth corners slightly raised. In terms of strength, Lingfan has never been afraid of anyone. What a strong power. Lord Lingfan is so strong. Yes. Even the combined strength of Captains Dangli and Brokey can't shake him at all. Oimo and Cassie were also dumbfounded. They only knew that Lingfan was very strong before, but they didn't expect that Lingfan's strength would be so strong. Donley, use your strength. Brokey, I'll use more strength. The two giants used all their strength, but Lingfan easily blocked the two. It seems that you have used all your strength. It's my turn next. Lingfan then used the powerful power from Hulk, Wolverine, Deadpool, and Lingfan's 20 years of practice. Just a light push. With a whoosh, the two giants were pushed away by Lingfan. Sorry, I used too much force. Lingfan apologized, and then chased after them with Oimo and Cassie. However, when they arrived at the direction where the two giants fell, they found a group of people with bad intentions. These people seemed to have avoided Lingfan's army and landed in another place. The leader had very strange hair with a 3 on his hair. The other one was a 14-year-old girl. The people behind him all had the Baroque Works logo on their shoulders. Obviously, they were all from the Baroque Works. It's really a pain to find it without any effort. The bounty for these two giants is not a small amount. There are 2 more giants? This should be our target this time, right? The person with the 3 on his head was very proud and said to Lingfan, Cassie, and Oimo, you are Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week, right? Lingfan's mood did not change at all. On the contrary, he was a little excited. Chapter 83, Conquering Mr. 3. As the agents of Baroque Works appeared one by one, Lingfan's desire to see Robin gradually became hot. The person with 3 written on his head is naturally the user of the candle fruit. After all, the devil fruit users are a minority in the sea, so Mr. 3 is also very fearless. In his eyes, Lingfan and the giants have become his own fish in the pond and on the plate. That's right. You actually know us. It seems that you are the target this time. Huang Jinzhao said. What else can we say to him? His men don't notice us at all. As long as we catch them, no matter how many people they have, we will have to be cautious at that time. Mr. 3 said. Oh, want to catch us? Dangli, Brokey and others were also shocked. They didn't expect that a man dressed so strangely would want to catch them. Lingfan naturally knew Mr. 3's ability. Then, he just hooked his finger and said, isn't it the candle fruit user? Come here. Otherwise, you have no chance to show your own ability. When Lingfan's voice fell, Mr. 3 was naturally shocked. It seems that you know my ability. Since you know my ability, you still have the courage to stand here? It seems that you have something to rely on. Okay, I will let you see my ability. Mr. 3 finally started to attack. Candle shackles. Mr. 3 directly activated his fruit ability, and then a shackle formed in his hand, trying to lock Lingfan in this lock. Who knows that Lingfan said with disdain, "What the hell is this? Get out of here." Lingfan just exerted a little force, and the candle was actually broken free by Lingfan, and countless debris appeared on the ground in an instant. Slime carving. Mr. 3 was not panicked. He immediately used the candle to form a knife on his arm, and then chopped at Lingfan. Because of the fruit ability, the hardness of the knife formed is also very amazing, so Mr. 3 is very proud. However, this hardness is a joke in front of Lingfan. Lingfan directly took out his Deadpool samurai sword, took the lead, drew out the knife, and started to fight against Mr. 3. With a clang sound, Mr. 3's candle knife was chopped into pieces by Lingfan again, and finally turned into candle debris again. I didn't expect that your swordsmanship is so amazing. You can actually chop my candle into pieces with an ordinary sword. It's really extraordinary. Mr. 3 was also shocked. He had never seen such a strong opponent. Lingfan shook his head and said, "In fact, it's not a problem of swordsmanship at all, but you are too confident. You don't even know the armament color, so you can only jump around in the first half of the Grand Line." Although Mr. 3 didn't understand what Lingfan said, the contempt in his words was naturally endless. "Asshole, how dare you look down on me? After all, I'm Mr. 3. Let me show you my true strength." Mr. 3 seemed a little angry, so he directly used his strongest move. Candle Champion Cup. This move has the power to defeat the wanted criminal worth 42 million baileys. The candles completely wrapped Mr. 3's body, forming a candle armor. Mr. 3's entire body turned into a huge candle robot, which looked very oppressive. Most people would run away after seeing this scene. Lingfan would naturally not run away. This move was at best a snack before dinner for Lingfan, and it was not enough for Lingfan to face it with a serious attitude. Okay, in this case, I will show you what domineering is. After Lingfan finished speaking, some black substances began to appear all over his body, and soon these substances wrapped Lingfan's entire body. That's right, Lingfan entered the armed color hardening mode, and the armed color hardening covered his whole body, was also called the devil mode. What is this? Mr. 3 was also shocked. He had never seen such a thing. After all, even he was just a pirate in the first half of the Grand Line. Domineering will only show its importance in the second half. After all, natural ability users have changed a lot in the new world. It looks like it's quite powerful, but it's definitely not my opponent. Mr. 3 was still so confident, controlling the candle robot and approaching Lingfan step by step. Then, Mr. 3 said, "Next, I will kill you in one move. Ha. Let me see how you kill me in one move." Lingfan's mouth corners slightly raised. Champion's fist plowing fist. The candle robot controlled by Mr. 3 began to swing its fists, and all the attacks fell on Lingfan. At this time, Lingfan crossed his arms and looked fearless. No matter how many attacks fell on Lingfan, Lingfan seemed to be unable to feel them at all. After attacking for about a minute, Mr. 3 finally couldn't hold on. The continuous attacks almost exhausted his physical strength. But what shocked Mr. 3 was that Lingfan was still standing in front of him without any injury. "Isn't it interesting? My devil mode can block all your attacks," Lingfan said. "What on earth is this? Didn't I tell you that this thing is called haki, and it is a very common skill in the second half of the Grand Line?" Lingfan replied. "Who the hell are you? You actually know the moves of the new world in the second half of the Grand Line. You can't be an ordinary person." Mr. 3 had a bad feeling at this time. "Me? You ask who I am? Then I'll tell you. My name is Lingfan. The nickname given to me by the people in the world is the God of Change. I also have a title called the Seven Warlords of the Sea. Did you hear it clearly?" After Lingfan's words came out, Mr. 3 immediately woke up. "Miss Golden Week. Let's run." Then Mr. 3 directly condensed a wall of candles to block Lingfan and others. He and Miss Golden Week planned to take this opportunity to run away. In a flash, Ling Fan had already appeared in front of the two using the ability of teleportation. Run. You don't have the option of running away. Either choose to live or die. If you live, you have to work for me. If you die, it's up to you. Ling Fan said coldly, like a demon without any emotion. Of course we live, Mr. 3 finally said. Humph, under my coercion, you chose to surrender, but there is still a possibility of defection, right? If you defect, I will never give you any chance again. Ling Fan warned. Mr. 3, who originally wanted to take advantage of Ling Fan's inattention to escape in the future, was frozen at this moment. He looked at Ling Fan with fear and embarrassment, and put away his other thoughts forever. What should we do with these men of yours? Ling Fan then looked at the billionaires behind Mr. 3. They saw that the senior agents had surrendered, so what waves could they make? So they surrendered too. Chapter 84 Arrival at Drum Island. Miss Golden Week has no special abilities. It seems that the paint she uses to paint can control people's moods, and Mr. 3's candle fruit ability is also pretty good. Together with the billionaire elders of Baroque Works, Ling Fan once again successfully gathered the enemy into his own power. After Ling Fan finished the battle, Red Earl and others naturally integrated the resources, and they were ready to set sail. As soon as Ling Fan gave the order, disband the people of Baroque Works again, and then integrate a small team, and stay in the small garden as the power of our Avengers Alliance to recruit future pirates. Ling Fan still plans to leave a team in the small garden, which will also facilitate the expansion of momentum in the future. Although these islands do not have much contact with each other now, when Ling Fan establishes a branch in Alabasta, he can connect all these branches together, send resources and end mushy, and then they will all be considered Ling Fan's sphere of influence. Aren't you going to leave? Ling Fan naturally asked Donley and Brokey. These two have been on this island for so many years, and it is naturally not that easy to let them leave. You have finally reunited, why don't you join my alliance? Besides, if you can't defeat me, how can you become the greatest warrior of Elbaf? Ling Fan used the method of provoking them, knowing that the two of them valued this title very much. Yes, the battle between the two of us has no result at all, which shows that our forces are not much different. Ling Fan's strength is stronger than ours. Therefore, whoever defeats Ling Fan first will be considered a warrior of Elbaf. As the captains of the giant pirates, Donley and Brokey are naturally strong. In order to recruit them, Ling Fan naturally racked his brains. In the end, the two agreed to join Ling Fan's forces. Ling Fan got the recording pointer that had stored the magnetic force from Mr. 3. Everyone was finally ready. Ling Fan gave an order, and finally, dozens of warships began to sail to the next island. This time, Ling Fan not only recruited Donley and Brokey, but also recruited the billionaire elders and Mr. 3, etc., which made Ikelam and Princess Vivi look at him with admiration. Wow. Really amazing. As expected of Lord Ling Fan. Are all the Shichibukai so strong? That's not true. None of the Shichibukai is stronger than Lord Ling Fan. Even the 4 emperors, I guess they can't compare to Lord Ling Fan, right? Everyone praised him in various ways. After all, Ling Fan was able to command so many pirates, and he was no less powerful than the 4 emperors. Ikelam, Princess Vivi, I will definitely help you fulfill the promise I made to you. Ling Fan also looked at the sea in the distance. Yes. Everyone nodded with confidence. With Ling Fan's army and Ling Fan himself, Alabasta would survive, even if it encountered a big crisis. Ling Fan's fleet followed Ling Fan's main ship, and Ling Fan followed the recording pointer. After an unknown number of days, the weather gradually became colder, and fog rose in the distance. In the fog, an island could be vaguely seen. If my guess is correct, this is a winter island, Ling Fan said. When the ship got closer, Ling Fan saw several peaks on the island that looked like magnetic drums. It seems that this is the so-called magnetic drum island. Ling Fan nodded. You wait a moment in the sea, I'll be back soon. Ling Fan transformed into Iron Man. Because it was still quite warm in the Iron Man mecha, Ling Fan quickly flew to the port of Magnetic Drum Island. There was a village near the port, so Ling Fan naturally landed there quickly. However, Ling Fan, who had just landed, was immediately discovered by the villagers. Obviously, these people had seen through telescopes that Ling Fan came out of those warships. Who are you? Flying a pirate flag? Are you a pirate? Leave here immediately. Despicable pirate. Yes. If you fly back in the same way. Everyone raised their rifles and pointed them at Ling Fan. I just want to store the magnetic force of the entire island and then go to the next island. I have no ill will towards you. Otherwise, if more than 50 warships come together, you will not be able to stop them, even if you have more people. Ling Fan was stating a fact. Everyone looked at each other. What Ling Fan said was of course the truth. If more than 50 warships wanted to harm them, they could just attack directly, but Ling Fan asked them to anchor in the sea, which was already a respect for them. Afterwards, everyone discussed it, and finally decided to let Ling Fan do what he wanted. But at this time, a crowd suddenly gathered in the village. Ling Fan was also very interested and ran over. Only then did he find that it was a person who fell in the snow. He is sick. Need medical treatment. Go find the witch doctor. But, I'm afraid he can't make it. The witch is in the highest castle. Everyone was in a dilemma at this time. A young man in green armor naturally raised his hand and said, I'm a fruit ability user. Let me go. Maybe I can save him. Dalton. If it's Dalton, there will be no problem. At this time, Ling Fan walked beside the fainted person, used his observation haki to explore his body, and found that he seemed to have a very serious heart disease. If someone else went, this person would definitely die. Therefore, Ling Fan naturally volunteered, let me go, this guy has a heart disease, and if he doesn't get there as quickly as possible, he will definitely die. Heart disease. Yes, this guy does have a heart disease. Everyone remembered that the fallen villager seemed to have had a heart attack, but that was a long time ago, so they didn't remember it for a while. Are you sure you can do it? Can pirates really be trusted? Or is Dalton more trustworthy? Are despicable pirates trustworthy? Ling Fan shook his head and said, I can fly. If you are worried, I can take Dalton and the patient there. After Ling Fan finished speaking, Dalton said, no need. I believe in this young man. We'll leave this villager in your care. Dalton bowed deeply. Don't worry. Ling Fan nodded and then transformed into Quicksilver. After Quicksilver and Iron Man merged, they used supersonic flight to reach Drum Mountain in just a moment. There is a castle on the mountain. We are here. It seems that this is the residence of Chopper and the Witch Doctor. Ling Fan then shuttled in at an extremely fast speed. Chapter 85, Killing Waldo. Hello, this man has an acute heart attack and is dying. Please save his life. Ling Fan saw the two in a place similar to a research institute. Who are you? The witch was shocked, but then she set her sights on the patient in Ling Fan's hand. Chopper, don't worry about anything else, save people first. After the witch finished speaking, Chopper nodded, almost without looking at Ling Fan, but focused all his attention on Ling Fan. It stands to reason that Chopper would be afraid of meeting strangers, but the thought of saving people naturally outweighs other thoughts. I'm going out. Ling Fan walked outside the castle for fear of affecting everyone. Ling Fan, wearing Iron Man's armor, said to Jarvis, Jarvis, run the internal heating system. Is there enough energy? Don't worry. The energy is very sufficient. Therefore, although Ling Fan was outside the castle, he was still able to maintain his body temperature. After a while, Ling Fan felt someone patting him, and then he opened his eyes. Ling Fan found that this person was naturally the witch doctor. Come in, your friend is fine. The female doctor said. Okay. Thank you. Ling Fan then entered the castle again. Actually, that person is not my friend. It's just that I move faster, so I was able to send that person here. Ling Fan replied. Yes, your speed is at least the speed of sound. Your speed is fast enough, otherwise this person must have died. The witch doctor took a sip of wine and said, you should be a person with special abilities, right? The dozens of warships in the distance are yours, right? I wonder what your purpose is in coming to this island? The witch doctor asked. Ling Fan thought about it and decided to tell the truth. I want to establish a branch of my power so that pirates who enter the Grand Line in the future can join my power. Moreover, my men can also protect this island. Oh. You have such ambitions. That's great. Although you are a pirate, you don't seem to be one of those extremely vicious people. The witch doctor was also surprised. Of course, pirates and navy are just a title. As the head of a power, if you can't restrain your men, wouldn't that be a failure? Ling Fan also asked with a smile. Very good. The witch doctor nodded. Ling Fan suddenly noticed what happened. Oh. The witch doctor picked up her telescope and indeed found another group of pirates who were completely different from Ling Fan in the distance. That's Valpo? The witch doctor was also shocked. They landed on the other side and seemed to have defeated the villagers in the port. Now they are rushing all the way to this castle. Do you want to hide? Ling Fan asked. That's great. Do you have such good eyesight? We won't hide. With you as one of the 7 warlords of the sea, I can just watch while drinking. Haha. The witch doctor Kiliha was obviously surprised to find out Ling Fan's identity. Then let's wait for them to come up. Ling Fan was naturally not afraid of the former tyrant of Drum Island. After a while, they really came to the entrance of the castle. Yahahaha. Valpo opened his hands and said excitedly, look. Everything is the same as before. This is my castle, and the Drum Kingdom will be resurrected here soon. Please wait a moment, Lord Valpo. Look at the top of the castle. After his subordinates reminded him, Valpo saw the flag of the Sakura pirates flying on the top of the castle. What is that? Where did the flag of the Drum Kingdom go? Valpo asked. At this time, Ling Fan, Kiliha and Chopper came out. I burned that thing a long time ago. Kiliha said. Wow. You finally showed up. You are the last doctor. This castle no longer belongs to you. This is not a place for you bastards. Get out of the country quickly. The Drum Kingdom has perished. Kiliha said. What did you say? Valpo then saw Ling Fan, who was wearing steel armor at this time, looking very cool. Valpo, it is not your turn to point fingers at this country. From today on, I will protect this country. Ling Fan said. You're protecting me? Ha 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 ha. I'm dying of laughter. Who are you? How can you control this place? His Majesty Valpo is a user of the swallow fruit. When facing His Majesty, just wait to be swallowed by His Majesty. Ha ha ha. Valpo and his lackeys laughed at Ling Fan's arrogance. I'll give you 3 seconds to turn around, otherwise you'll die. Ling Fan stepped forward majestically, and the energy cannon in his hand began to accumulate. Wow. So handsome. Chopper didn't think Ling Fan was very scared or terrified, because Ling Fan, wearing a mecha, looked like a hero. Very passionate. He was also very excited when he saw this scene. Very interested. Chopper is really a child. Kiliha also said with a smile. Just kidding. Valpo took a step forward. 3 come on. Catch him. I'm going to eat him. Valpo had not yet realized the seriousness of the problem. 2 Ling Fan said again. Valpo's men all rushed towards Ling Fan. 1. After Ling Fan shouted, a small missile device immediately appeared on his shoulder. Jarvis had helped Ling Fan aim at Valpo and his men. Fire. Valpo's men were completely destroyed by these missiles before they could touch Ling Fan. Valpo was the only one left. If you have the guts, take my attack. Ling Fan's energy cannons gathered in both hands also shot directly at Valpo. Swish. The energy cannon shot at Valpo, who opened his huge mouth and tried to swallow it in one gulp. However, the energy beam shot by Iron Man was not so easy to swallow. Valpo opened his mouth, and his mouth was pierced. Go away. Leave here forever. Finally, Ling Fan's very casual shockwave knocked Valpo's huge body away. Chopper, in addition to the flag of Hero Luck, please help me put this flag in the 2nd highest position on the island. I said that I will protect your magnetic drum island and will not let others capture it. Ling Fan said very domineeringly. Wow. Oh my god. Chopper's eyes were full of excitement. The hero in his dream actually appeared in reality. I will. Chopper nodded and agreed to Ling Fan's request. I guess Dalton should be elected king next. Do you want to tell him about your request? Kiliha asked. That's just what I was planning. Ling Fan nodded. This is a good opportunity. Kiliha pointed to the distance and said. Ling Fan looked over and saw that it was Walpo's men, the White Iron Pirates. At this moment, the White Iron Pirates were invading the village. It was obvious that the village could not withstand it. Chapter 86 Entering Alabasta. Leave it to me. Chopper, we are friends. We will meet again in the future. I will come to see you when I have time. Ling Fan smiled at Chopper and then flew quickly to the village. After returning to the village, the White Iron Pirates had already begun to attack the village. Jarvis, Aim at all the pirates. Don't leave any alive. Lingfen said. Then the aiming device in the mecha had already completely aimed at the enemy. Shoot. As soon as Lingfen's voice fell, the missiles in the mecha were all fired at the pirates. The pirates had originally encountered strong resistance from the villagers. Now that Lingfen came to help, they were completely unable to resist. Almost all the pirates were knocked to the ground by the Iron Man that Lingfen turned into. Who are you? Are you the weapon man developed by the world government? The pirates were all very surprised. After all, Lingfen was hiding in the mecha, and he was still somewhat similar to the future pacifist. Me. I'm a big pirate. Lingfen put down his mask and revealed his face. I have knocked Valpo away. You can make a choice, live or die. Lingfen asked, emitting a cold aura. The pirates were naturally completely suppressed by Lingfen's aura and dared not speak. In the end, they all nodded and agreed to surrender. It was not until Lingfen called his super fleet over that they realized how correct their choice was. Seize a ship of this pirate group, and then disperse and control all the pirates. Once they make any unusual movements, kill them immediately. Lingfen has zero tolerance for traitors. After absorbing the White Iron pirates, Lingfen's power has become a little bigger again. Not long after, Killua and Chopper also brought the heart patient to the village. The heart patient has fully recovered. Lingfen has also confiscated the White Iron pirates. The people in the whole village are undoubtedly very grateful to Lingfen. At this time, Lingfen told Dalton and the people in the village about his request. If you want to protect this island, we welcome you. Do you have any other requests? In order to better protect the island, I plan to set up a branch of our forces on the main island. This will ensure that you will not be harassed by those strange pirates in the future, and you can communicate with us through the branch at any time. Lingfen's purpose is very clear, that is, to establish a branch, expand the power, and let the Grand Line be full of the footprints of his power. Dalton and the villagers discussed it, and finally agreed to Lingfen's request. Lingfen spent a week to establish a branch next to the village, and left a small group of his people on the island. When everything was almost done, Lingfen said goodbye to everyone. Goodbye, Chopper. You will definitely find your partner. Lingfen did not intend to accept Chopper. At this time, Chopper still needed 2 years of training. Killua poured a mouthful of old wine into his stomach, and then waved his hand. When Lingfen comes next time, it will not only be the 7 warlords of the sea. In this way, Lingfen led his more than 50 pirate warships and set off to the next island. Knowing that they would arrive at Alabasta next, Lingfen naturally stored a lot of water resources. Magnetic Drum Island is a winter island, but the water resources are relatively abundant. It took nearly a week to follow the record pointer in the sea. At this time, Lingfen was riding a ship with Princess Vivi and Ikelim. The sky was very clear at this time, and there were very few clouds around. Obviously, the temperature could be felt. The warship was sailing very fast, so the wind could be felt on the deck, but the wind also smelled dry. Countless sand dunes could be vaguely seen in the distance. Obviously, Lingfen and others had begun to take over Alabasta. Princess Vivi and Ikelim had told Lingfen about the crisis in their country. It was similar to the original plot. Alabasta fell into rebellion. Although the time was 2 years earlier than the original, it was obvious that what should happen seemed to be ahead of schedule. We have too many ships and personnel, and the speed of consuming resources is also very fast. Golden Lion and others said, it's okay. We are here now, aren't we? After we get here, we'll go eat and drink our fill. Just let our men watch over the ships. Lingfen said, it's too hot. I don't want to go too far. Let me watch over the ships here. Barrett said, Crocodile is too weak. I don't want to fight him at all. Barrett said, well, you and your brothers will wait on the warship. I'll send a group of people to buy food and resources. The Red Ale said, the giants are too blatant. Golden Lion, Princess Vivi, Ikelim and I can go together. On the ship, Lingfen arranged all the things to do later. That's the port city of Alabasta, Mirohara. Princess Vivi and Ikelim introduced. Soon, the ship anchored at the port, and Lingfen's warships almost filled the entire port of Mirohara. There are Arabic dome buildings here, and people try their best to cover their heads and faces to prevent ultraviolet rays. The streets were crowded with people, the vendors were shouting, and countless fruit and spice barbecues all attracted everyone's attention. Proceed as planned, Ling Fan said, and then he got off the boat with Princess Vivi and others. Ling Fan and others first bought some resources very low-key, and then arrived at a secluded place. Next, Princess Vivi Ikelam, what are your plans? Ling Fan asked. I'm going to the palace first to report on this trip. Ikelam said. Run fast, you take Ikelam with you, and leave the next thing to me. Princess Vivi said. Oh, Princess, if I leave, can you take care of yourself? Ikelam was a little worried about Princess Vivi. I'm not a child anymore, and besides, Master Ling Fan is here, there will be absolutely no problem. Princess Vivi said. Ikelam was relieved. Then Ikelam sat on the fast runner and tried to find a way to go to the capital of Alabasta, while Princess Vivi had her own purpose. There is an oasis called Yuba to the northwest of this city. It is the base of the rebels. I want to go there first to stop the riot. Princess Vivi said. Ling Fan nodded. Although in the original book, Yuba was tampered with by crocodile and was swallowed by the desert, the real situation is not certain. Who knows if Yuba was like that 2 years ago. However, to go to Yuba, we must cross the desert. We should collect as much water and food as possible, as well as clothes that can block sunlight and disguise as civilians. We must also avoid the Baroque workshop as much as possible to prevent alerting the enemy. Princess Vivi also handed the necessary items to Ling Fan very carefully. Chapter 87. Juba swallowed. Ling Fan and Shiki naturally bought everything and were ready. However, on the way to buy things, Golden Lion also found some interesting things. Master Ling Fan, did you notice? There are many carts pulled by camels? Golden Lion asked. Yes, there are some arms and supplies inside. Let's not make it public. Ling Fan did not expose those people. After all, the rebels were just used by crocodile. After returning, Ling Fan, Golden Lion and Princess Vivi set off. Because Golden Lion Shiki himself is a user of the floating fruit ability, he can fly, and Ling Fan has Johnny Thunderbolt and Iron Man armor, 2 flight modes. By the way, system, can I let others wear my armor? Ling Fan asked. You should ask Jarvis about this matter. I can't decide anything related to the armor. The system responded. Okay. Ling Fan asked Jarvis, after he transformed into Iron Man. Jarvis, can I let others wear my armor? Of course. Jarvis replied. But, she can't control the flight. Can it be switched to automatic flight mode? Ling Fan asked. Yes. Ling Fan felt relieved after receiving Jarvis' affirmative answer. If the 3 of them could fly, it would be much faster to go anywhere, and it would also save a lot of trouble on the road. Princess Vivi, do you know the direction of Yuba? We plan to fly directly there next. Ling Fan said. What? Fly? Before Princess Vivi understood what was going on, Iron Man's mecha completely covered her body. It was obviously a hot day, but Vivi didn't feel that hot after putting on the armor. Then there was a hiss sound, and Vivi was already suspended in the air, and the propulsion devices on her hands and feet were automatically turned on. Am I really flying? Princess Vivi still didn't believe it. Of course. Ling Fan smiled and said, you can talk to Jarvis and control it, and let it control the mecha to fly anywhere. Because it was in automatic mode, it was very simple, and Princess Vivi learned it quickly. So the 3 of them started flying in the air. Go to Juba. The 3 flew very fast, from Nerohara on the east coast to Juba in the northwest. They were supposed to take a boat to Elmar on the west coast. Elmar was originally called the Green City, but it was eventually abandoned due to desertification. In fact, the St. Dora River, which originally ran through Alabasta, could be brought into the city by the canal, but the canal was also destroyed by humans. With a lack of rainfall, no water to store, and no water to use, the city was naturally abandoned. Behind this, Crocodile naturally played the role of the mastermind, and Princess Vivi naturally knew who was behind it. See. We have crossed the St. Dora River, and are now in the west of Alabasta. Princess Vivi said excitedly. Such high sand dunes, such large sand dunes. If we walk, I don't know how long it will take. Even Shiki was a little shocked. It would take a long time to walk over a sand dune that was dozens of meters high. That's the ancient desert, and some larger sand dunes are more than 300 meters. There are also many bad weather, such as sandstorms, and there seem to be many strange creatures with great destructive power here. Ling Fan said. It looks like you've been here before, and you seem to be very familiar with this place. Princess Wee Wee smiled and said, generally, deserts are like this. After a while, the three finally flew to their destination. This is Yuba, let's land. Princess Wee Wee said. After everyone landed, Ling Fan took back the measure. Here, is this Yuba? The city looks so strange. Princess Wee Wee was shocked. What's the sound? Wee Wee asked. Sandstorm. Ling Fan replied. How could this happen? After the sandstorm ended, Princess Wee Wee and Ling Fan and others walked into the city together and explored around. Only then did they find that Yuba, like Elma, had been desertified. Too much sand caused the ground to rise, and the oasis was swallowed up. Princess Wee Wee said very sadly. Then the sound of a shovel could be heard. Are you travelers? I'm so sorry, this city is already dry, but you should have a good rest. There are hotels everywhere. Those are the best places in this city, an old man said, while digging the canal. Excuse me, I heard that the rebels are in this city. Wee Wee asked. Why are you asking about the rebels? Are you planning to join the rebels? The uncle was very excited. That group of idiots are no longer in this city. The sandstorm just hit the city, but this is not something that just started. Since the sand dried up due to long-term exposure to sunlight 3 years ago, the city has often been attacked by sandstorms. It was swallowed up bit by bit, and the former oasis has become what it is today. Supplies can no longer circulate. Because they can't fight a protracted war of rebellion again, the rebels moved their base to Catalaya. Catalaya? Golden Lion Shiki looked at Wee Wee. That's the city near Rohira. Wee Wee said. Sure enough, just as we guessed, a large amount of arms flowed in from Rohira at that time, and finally they should have been transported to Catalaya. Ling Fan said. Wee Wee? What should we do next? Golden Lion asked. Wee Wee? You said her name is Wee Wee? The uncle then walked up to Princess Wee Wee with tears in his eyes and said, It's me, Princess Wee Wee. Don't you know me? Indeed, I'm a little thinner than before. Are you Uncle Duocho? Couch's father? Ling Fan naturally knew the identity of this uncle, but he couldn't confirm it. Now he can confirm it. Wee Wee, I believe in His Majesty the King. He will never use dancing powder to rebel. It's simply stupid. I believe in His Majesty the King. Most of the citizens are like this. I have persuaded them many times, but no matter what I say, it's useless. The rebellion is still not stopped. Their physical strength has almost reached the limit. They should end it in the next attack. They have been forced into a desperate situation. They have long been determined to die. Please, Wee Wee, stop those stupid boys quickly. Don't worry, I will definitely stop the rebellion. Wee Wee also made a promise. Thank you, Uncle Duocho said with tears in his eyes. Don't worry, I will protect this country. The mastermind will definitely pay the price. Ling Fan also patted Duocho's shoulder and said, Who is this? Duocho asked. This is my friend. A very powerful person. Chapter 88 Rainy Land and Rain Banquet. Ling Fan smiled faintly and said, Thank you Princess Wee Wee for your kindness. I promised you that I will definitely protect you. Uncle Duocho, I would like to ask if you are digging a canal. Ling Fan asked. Yes, dig a canal and bring in the water of the St. Dora River. There is still hope for this city. Uncle Duocho said. Yeah. Ling Fan nodded and walked over. Everyone didn't know what Ling Fan wanted to do. At this time, Ling Fan stretched out his hand and pointed to the east. The end of the east was naturally the St. Dora River. Jarvis, adjust the angle and release the energy beam. 321 launch. Ling Fan directly sent out a super strong energy beam, and the sand on the ground was instantly lifted up. Lord Golden Lion, come and help too. You should know what I want to do, right? The Golden Lion naturally understood what Ling Fan meant. So that's how it is. You want to save the city of Yuba. The Golden Lion then put his hands on the ground and shouted, Lion's power roll. Originally, the Golden Lion could lift up the ground. In this way, the entire ground was lifted up by the Golden Lion, and the rising surface returned to its normal height again. After Ling Fan's energy raise, and the Golden Lion's lifting of the surface, the prototype of the canal was successfully constructed. Uncle Duocho. After solving the rebellion and the mastermind behind it, someone will naturally come here to help you save Uber. Ling Fan's tone revealed an absolute confidence, which was an area that most people could not reach in their lifetime. He actually created a river channel with just a raise of his hand. Princess Wee Wee, your friends are really strong. I'm so grateful. Uncle Duocho burst into tears. What Ling Fan did was equivalent to saving half of Uber. By the way, because the ground has dropped, it is easier to dig into moist strata. Uncle, you can easily dig a well, and there will be no problem with drinking water and storing water. With water, there is hope. Lord Lingfan, Lord Shiji. Thank you. Princess Wee Wee's eyes were also tearful, and she looked at Lingfan with a different look. I just promised you, don't forget my 3 conditions. Lingfan also shook his hand indifferently. Compared to your conditions, what you have done is much harder. Princess Wee Wee also expressed her gratitude to Lingfan again and again. Well, thank you. I'll talk about it after I defeat Crocodile. Ling Fan then asked, since the rebels are in Català, should we go to the rainy land in the north, or to Català in the east, or to Albana, the capital of Alabasta? Princess Vivi took out a map, pointed to the rainy land and said, the location of Crocodile, the rain banquet in the rainy land, can be reached in 1 day by walking north. If we fly, we should be able to arrive in a few hours. Then let's go to the rainy land. After all, our ultimate enemy is still Crocodile. As long as we kill him, we shouldn't have to worry about the rebels, right? Ling Fan said. Yes, the culprit behind the scenes is Crocodile. Vivi said. In that case, let's go. Goodbye, Uncle Toto. Ling Fan, Vivi and others waved to Toto, and then started flying again in the same way. The 3 flew all the way to the north. It must be said that flying is completely different from walking. The 3 quickly arrived at the rainy land from Juba. After the 3 landed, they hid themselves. Just by listening to the name, you can tell that the rainland is not short of water. The 3 of them went to the tavern to drink as much as they could, and then they found a pyramid-shaped building with a crocodile head roof. That place is the casino run by Crocodile, the rain banquet. Princess Wee Wee pointed to the building in the center of the rainland and said, really? Crocodile is there? Lingfan and Golden Lion looked at each other and prepared to go in. At this time, a group of people suddenly blocked Lingfan and the other 2. Ahaha. You are here? Lingfan asked in confusion. Who are you? I don't know you. These people are Crocodile's men, that is, the Million Elders. Wee Wee reminded. It is obvious that their target is Princess Wee Wee. So they are enemies. Then there is no need to hold back. Shiki, they are left to you. Is it okay? Lingfan looked at Golden Lion. It's easy Lion Chicory. Golden Lion did not use his fruit ability, but directly used swordsmanship, and instantly cut down a wave of enemies in front of him. These people are very weak. Shiki also told the truth. The entrance to the rain banquet is right in the center of the lake. Let's go in. Princess Wee Wee said. Let's go. Lingfan and the other 2 walked into the rain banquet in a swagger. The rain banquet is a very authentic casino with many people inside, and there are many slot machines, poker, and dice. Wee Wee, how about we play a few games? Lingfan said, but aren't we looking for Crocodile? Wee Wee asked, very puzzled. As long as we win all the money in the casino, Crocodile will have to come out. Lingfan said. I see. Wee Wee nodded and said, do you have the confidence to win all the money in the casino? Of course. Lingfan nodded very confidently. Lord Shiki, your floating fruit can control the gravity of everything it touches, so playing dice should be a sure win, right? Lingfan said with a smile. I understand what you mean. The Golden Lion smiled, exchanged bay leaf or chips, gave them to Lingfan, and then went to the other side to win money. Let's go play the roulette. Lingfan brought Wee Wee to the roulette. At this moment, the roulette wheel began to rotate with the axis as the center. The dealer threw out the white beads, and the beads immediately began to rotate on the roulette wheel. Many people around began to place bets. Lingfan very calmly bet all his chips on the red number 16. Sir, are you sure you want to bet all your chips on red 16? The dealer asked with some surprise. Of course. All in. Lingfan was very confident. Lingfan bet about 100 million berries. 100 million berries may not sound like much, but don't forget that this is Alabasta. There are not many pirates in the first half of the Grand Line who have more than 100 million. Except for Crocodile himself, not many people have so much money. At this time, everyone was surprised and disdainful. They were surprised by the chips of 100 million berries, and disdain was that they thought Ling Fan didn't know how to play roulette at all. Most people would place multiple bets, but Ling Fan bet all his chips in one place at once. Press and leave, the dealer said. When everyone thought Ling Fan would lose, the roulette wheel finally stopped spinning, and the bead stopped at the red 16 area. Everyone stared in disbelief. What a weird thing. Did he meet the god of gamblers? The odds are so high. No one expected that Ling Fan, who was not optimistic about the outcome, would win a lot of money in just a few minutes. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 89, Battle Against Crocodile. Because the odds were so high, countless gamblers were watching Ling Fan and the dealer. The dealer was also encountering this situation for the first time, and immediately turned his eyes to the boss of the casino. The boss who was in charge of the casino was naturally not Crocodile, but an old man. The old man who was in charge of the casino was shocked at first, and then smiled and said, "Don't panic, we can still afford this little money." Then the old man clapped his hands, and countless chips were naturally delivered to Ling Fan. "Very good. It seems that your casino can still afford to lose, so I will continue to play," Ling Fan said very proudly, and the chips in his hand were already heavy. "Boss, no. This guy with blonde hair. He has won several civs in a row." The casino staff in black clothes was shocked and reminded immediately. "I just said that our casino is not unable to lose." The old man didn't take it so seriously at first, but when the old man saw that the blonde man already had a mountain of chips, he was also nervous. "What? No way. Has he already won so many chips? How many bets did he place?" The old man was also a little crazy, and he was almost collapsed at this time. First, the black-haired Ling Fan, and then the blonde Shiji. If this continues, Yu Yan will soon be bankrupted by gambling. "Do you two know each other?" the casino owner suddenly asked. Ling Fan raised his eyebrows and then said, "So what? Does it mean that knowing each other means that you are not allowed to win money?" "That's not the case, but you are too mysterious. I have reason to suspect that you are cheating," the casino owner said. "Huh? Do you have evidence?" Ling Fan looked at the old man with contempt, arrogant, and looked like he didn't care about him at all. "Evidence? There is no evidence now, but there will be soon. Please go inside to talk." After the old man finished speaking, several fierce and evil people in black clothes rushed out from the surroundings. They captured Shiji, Ling Fan, and Wei Wei, and tried to take them to other places. "I still want to solve the problem in the most civilized way, but it seems that it won't work." Ling Fan shook his head, and then the domineering aura was released directly, and all the black-clad people in the casino fell to the ground. The old man in the casino was shocked and fled in a panic. The Yuan casino was also in a mess, with chips flying everywhere, and countless gamblers fled from the Yuan in fear. At this time, a sound of footsteps attracted Ling Fan. Ding ding ding, a figure appeared in front of Ling Fan. 18 years have passed, and Ling Fan finally reunited with Robin again. The person in front of him is naturally Robin, whom Ling Fan has been thinking about day and night. At this time, Robin looked at Ling Fan, and Ling Fan looked at Robin. Neither of them knew what to say. In the end, it was the old man in the casino who spoke first. "Boss, this guy and this blonde man are about to win all the money of our casino." "Got it, you can leave." The boss personally invited him to the VIP room. "It was not me, but the order of Crocodile Boss," Robin said. The old man didn't know what to say for a moment, and then he retreated. "Golden Lion Shiki, God of Change Ling Fan, I've heard of your great names for a long time. Please come in," Robin said. "Robin, don't you recognize me?" Ling Fan asked. "Sorry, I'm Miss All Sunday." Robin was a little surprised and seemed to want Ling Fan to enter the VIP room. "Robin, you're not going to kill me, are you?" Ling Fan then said, "It doesn't matter, crocodile won't do anything to me anyway. Robin, you must have your reasons for doing this, right? I'll follow you." Ling Fan looked at the golden lion and Princess Vivi and nodded. Then he followed Robin into the VIP room. At the end of the VIP room, it said VIP on the left and pirate on the right. In the end, Ling Fan chose pirate and fell from the air. However, Ling Fan had known that this was a trap, so he was prepared in advance and gave the Iron Man armor to Vivi. The three of them finally fell down, but they did not suffer any harm. The sturdy fence completely locked Ling Fan and the others in, but Ling Fan's heart was full of disdain. His Wolverine claws could completely tear open even a pure sea stone prison, let alone this kind of fence mixed with sea stone. Ling Fan looked around and saw a desk and an office chair in front of him, and a voice came from there. "Didn't expect to meet the legend of the sea. I'm really honored. I thought it would take a lot of effort to catch you. I didn't expect it to be so easy to catch you here." Then the office chair turned around, revealing the man's appearance. He had a very neat slicked back hair, a line like a northern suture under his eyes, and an earring on his right ear. His whole face revealed the insidiousness of a pirate. He was wearing a long robe and looked very sloppy. "Crocodile." Princess Vivi immediately called out the man's name, and it was obvious that Princess Vivi was full of hatred for Crocodile. "Golden Lion Shiki, the legend of the sea. This one? It seems to be the god of change, Ling Fan, right? As a fellow Shichibuke, I wonder what you want to do in Alabasta?" Crocodile asked. Of course it's to help Princess Vivi and destroy your conspiracy." Ling Fan also said lightly. "This is not easy. My plan has been going on for many years, and Alabasta is already in my pocket." Crocodile said. "That's not necessarily true. Be my enemy? Still want to win? You are dreaming." Ling Fan was very confident. Sea stone was useless to him. Golden Lion could also use his fruit ability to directly turn the ground up. That kind of force was enough to open the cage. In that case, we have nothing to say. I think the world government and the navy will be very happy. I will give you to them." Crocodile naturally knew that the grudge between Ling Fan and the world government navy could not be resolved. Ha. Ling Fan couldn't help laughing and said, "Crocodile, who do you think you are? Can you trap me with this kind of rubbish? Transform." Ling Fan directly burst out Wolverine's Edelman metal claws with both hands, and then crossed his claws. With a clang sound, the railing of the sea stone was torn apart. "Impulse City didn't trap me, just you." Ling Fan then quickly approached Crocodile. This is impossible. How could anyone break the cage of sea stone?" Crocodile was originally sure of success, but now he was panicking. Swoosh! Ling Fan's claws pierced through Crocodile's body. In a hurry, Ling Fan did not cover himself with the armament color, so Crocodile was able to escape by elementalization. "Go to hell." Crocodile then slashed at Ling Fan with his poison hook, but Ling Fan was not far behind. With a whoosh, his metal claws stretched out again and completely caught Crocodile's poison hook. Impossible. Crocodile was stunned. Chapter 90 Crocodile's Shock. Crocodile didn't expect that Ling Fan could even tear open the prison of sea stone, and he didn't expect that Ling Fan would dare to confront him head on. However, Crocodile was still fearless at this time. As a natural ability user, Crocodile could use elementalization to avoid all attacks, including Ling Fan's attacks. However, what Crocodile didn't expect was that there was domineering in the new world, and he didn't expect that Ling Fan actually mastered domineering. "Boy, it seems that your 2 billion bounty was not in vain," Crocodile said. "A person's reputation is like the shadow of a tree. Without strength, he would have been killed by others long ago." Ling Fan shook his head. "Crocodile, you are not my opponent." Ling Fan pushed Crocodile lightly, and Crocodile retreated. What a strong force. It seems that there will be a fierce battle today. Crocodile's eyes gradually narrowed. Then the intact hand slapped the ground directly, and then said, "Erosion reincarnation." Then, the ground seemed to be eroded, and the ground cracked instantly, and even the surrounding rocks were painted into sand, which shows how strong Crocodile is. However, Ling Fan was still fearless. At this moment, he was floating in the air. Although this move was powerful, it had no effect on the enemy floating in the air. There was no need to say anything about the Golden Lion. He used the floating fruit to float in the air, and Princess Vivi was not injured at all. You can fly? Crocodile also frowned. His strength can be better exerted outdoors, but indoors, Crocodile is still very strong. You are worthy of being Crocodile of the 7 warlords of the sea, but if you are only at this level, you can't even touch me, Lingfen said. Try it. Crocodile then raised his arm high and shouted, Desert Sword. The arm turned into a sand blade and then slashed at Lingfen. Lingfen knew that this move was powerful enough to split the desert in half. However, Lingfen still planned to take a risk and give it a try. Lingfen just didn't believe it. Armament haki hardening. Lingfen transformed himself into the devil mode. Not only did he not take the initiative to avoid, but he took the initiative to move forward and let Crocodile chop him. This operation surprised everyone. Only the Golden Lion smiled and said nothing. In the past 18 years, he had seen the changes in Lingfen and naturally knew what Lingfen relied on. Lingfen, who had the fusion of Wolverine and Deadpool, was almost immortal. Even if he was attacked by a nuclear bomb, he could recover, not to mention the slash in front of him. Moreover, Lingfen's armament haki had already reached the top level in the past 18 years. Even Hawker's slash, Lingfen dared to try to resist it. Idiot. Naive. Crocodile cursed, and the attack had already landed on Lingfen. Bang. A violent sound suddenly came, and at this moment the slash fell on Lingfen, but Lingfen's body was indeed fine. What? Crocodile opened his eyes wide, not expecting such a result. His desert sword was so sharp that it could even cut through the desert, not to mention humans. The god of change? Is it really so weird? I don't believe it. I'll give you another move. Crocodile was a man who didn't believe in evil. This time, he raised his lie high, and both hands turned into sand blades, and slashed at Lingfen. Still coming? You have the guts. Lingfen's eyes shook, and his whole body seemed to have undergone wonderful changes. His aura also changed suddenly, and the whole person exuded the aura of a king. Endless momentum pressed over Crocodile like this. It was obvious that Lingfen had erupted with domineering at this moment. How could Crocodile not know about domineering? He couldn't help but praise him. It turns out that this person has the qualifications of a king. This level of domineering is the first time I have seen it. But, do you think you can stop my attack with domineering? Although Crocodile was affected, he finally successfully released his attack. Desert Diamond Sword. Crocodile shouted and rushed towards Lingfen again with an attack stronger than the desert report. At this time, Lingfen did not intend to sit and wait for death. It was not because he was afraid of Crocodile, but he wanted to change from passive to active, from defense to attack. In addition to Conqueror's haki, I also have armament haki. As soon as Lingfen finished speaking, he pulled out a shield from behind him. This shield was naturally Captain America's alloy shield, and this shield completely withstood Crocodile's attack. What kind of shield is this? It can even block my move. Crocodile was already a little helpless at this time. After all, the Desert Diamond Sword was one of his top 3 attack methods. My shield is the same as my claws. They are the hardest metals in the world. Even sea stone is not as hard as them. If I cover them with my armament haki, my defense will be the strongest shield and my attack will be the strongest spear. Do you understand? Crocodile? You are not my opponent at all. You just rely on the power of the fruit, just like I rely on these strange powers. However, the most important thing is to be strong yourself. Lingfen also sighed. I don't want to listen to your preaching. The ground is cracked. Crocodile is a person who does not believe in evil and does not admit defeat. He once again slammed his hand heavily on the ground, and then the whole ground cracked. The surrounding buildings were absorbed by the water and eventually turned into sand and dust. However, Lingfen and others flew up again, and Crocodile's attack once again did not have any effect. I'm sorry, Crocodile, I said, your attack has no effect on me at all. Lingfen also said lightly, impossible. I'm a natural ability user. Crocodile then turned into a gust of sand and attacked Lingfen in the air. Release armament haki. Lingfen has been able to release armament haki just like Barrett. Not only can his whole body be completely covered with armament haki, but it can also be materialized and condensed into different shapes. Because of his observation haki, Crocodile's attacks were all seen through. In the end, the attack on Lingfen not only failed to touch Lingfen, but was also locked by Lingfen's multiple armament haki arms. Don't you know? The owner of armament haki can touch the natural ability user. As soon as Lingfen finished speaking, he began to hit Crocodile continuously with extremely fast punches. Although Lingfen's attack did not have an aim like Crocodile's, it was no weaker and stronger. In just a few seconds, Crocodile's body was blown away like a cannonball. Crocodile, you lose. Lingfen looked at Crocodile and said. Chapter 91 Leaving the Rainy Land. Crocodile is spitting blood at this moment. He has never met such a strange opponent who can block all attacks, and the three colors of domineering are all very powerful. Sand Crocodile, right? Since you already know that this is the Lord Lingfen, the god of change, you should know that the Red Earl, Barrett and I, the Golden Lion, are all his subordinates. The Golden Lion said, we are all willing to be Lord Lingfen's subordinates. Lingfen has his own purpose for not killing Crocodile, and the Golden Lion naturally understands what Lingfen means. Humph. Want me to join you? Dream on. Crocodile will naturally not surrender. He still has his own purpose. Crocodile. Do you still want to destroy my country? Question mark. Princess Vivi looked at the culprit in front of her with gritted teeth, wishing she could tear him apart now. Hehe. Is it you, Miss Wednesday? Or should I call you Princess Vivi? Crocodile smiled grimly and said, even if you can stop me, the rebel army and the king's army are ready for a decisive battle. War is inevitable, even I can't stop it. What about you? What should we do? What can we do? Crocodile said fearlessly. It seems that you are very confident. There should be many members of the Baroque works in this rebellion, right? Billions of elders and millions of elders? They joined each other in the camp, and then instigated each other, and finally you took advantage of it, and got the news of Pluto. Lingfen said Crocodile's purpose in one sentence. If Lingfen's strength surprised Crocodile, the mention of Pluto surprised Crocodile even more. Golden Lion and Princess Vivi were also surprised. Pluto? What is that? Why does our country have the whereabouts of such a thing? Princess Vivi naturally didn't understand. One of the three great weapons in ancient times, Pluto is one of them, and all three can easily destroy a country. Golden Lion made a brief explanation. Boy, how do you know Pluto? It seems that you know a lot. Tell me and I can consider joining forces with you. Crocodile said. You really don't understand the situation? Now I'm not begging you to join forces, but you have to surrender to ensure your own safety. My safety is not important at all. The fighting in Albana should be about to start by now, right? You can waste as much time as you want on me. Anyway, the more time you waste, the more people will die. Crocodile still looked fearless. Huh. I'm protecting Alabasta, so how can I let you run wild? Lingfen then knocked Crocodile unconscious with a knife. Shiki, you must be going to Albana with him, Robin and many agents of Baroque works. Next, we need to do our best to stop the fighting between the two sides. Lingfen had already guessed Crocodile's plan, because Crocodile was unsure, so he used himself to hold the two of them back. The people in Baroque works succeeded in their plan, and Crocodile's goal was naturally achieved. However, Crocodile never thought that he would be defeated by Lingfen. He had never fought with Lingfen before, and he knew how powerful Lingfen was after the first fight. It's time to leave the rainy land. We will go west, cross the St. Dora River, and then fly a little southeast. We will reach Albana, the royal city of Alabasta. Chapter 92. Historical text in the cemetery. Under Lingfen's command, Princess Vivi and Golden Lion flew in the air with Crocodile, who was knocked unconscious. They naturally wanted to cross the St. Dora River and head to Albana, the capital of Alabasta. If they had walked, it would take a long time, but it was convenient to go to the enclave. It only took a few hours for everyone to arrive above Albana. Lingfen and others had already seen a large number of rebels in the royal army. How can we stop them? Golden Lion Shiki asked. He asked this not because he had no way to stop them, but because he didn't know what method Lingfen and others wanted to use. Vivi, let's stop the rebels in the royal army first. As for Robin, I don't think she will harm your father. Lingfen said. All up to Lord Lingfen. Princess Vivi nodded. Then Lingfen and Vivi flew to the outskirts of the palace. Who are you? The royal army saw the two and asked nervously. Who is this? Princess Vivi? Really, Princess Vivi? The guards quickly recognized Princess Vivi. After all, Vivi's light blue hair was easy to recognize. Don't worry, I will organize the rebels. I will stop Kosa. Princess Vivi's childhood friend Kosa, Uncle Dotto's child, is the leader of the rebels. This time, Princess Vivi was naturally determined to stop all this from happening. Lord Lingfen, can I borrow the power of your mecha? I also want to do something within my ability. Princess Vivi said. Lingfen nodded and said, okay, it seems that you have become familiar with the simple operation of the mecha along the way, so I will lend it to you. Golden Lion, you and Princess Vivi stop the war here, and I will be responsible for finding Robin. Lingfen then turned and left. Lingfen had just walked a short distance when he heard the sound of fighting. He looked closely and found that it was two fruit ability users who were fighting with Robin. One of the fruit ability users can transform himself into a jackal, and the other can transform himself into a flying bird. Obviously, these two are Gaga and Bell from the Kingdom Guard. However, two fruit ability users are still at a disadvantage against a superhuman like Robin. Robin only used the three-wheeled flower to easily knock the two to the ground. Then Robin naturally hijacked the King of Alabasta and headed deep into the palace. What do you want to do? King Cobra asked anxiously. You just need to open the door of the cemetery, and I won't do anything to you. Robin threatened. This is the cemetery of our king, there is no other place. Cobra lied, trying to deceive Robin in front of him. Robin naturally didn't believe it. Her goal was that piece of historical text, so she immediately said, don't lie to me. If you waste a little more time, the battle between the king's army and the rebels will be more tragic. When Crocodile comes back, you and all your men, ministers and all your citizens will be killed by him. Robin brought out Crocodile, trying to use him to intimidate Cobra. Cobra was helpless. If it was his own life, then it would be taken. But now he was threatened with the lives of his subjects. As a king, he was most vulnerable to this. I'll take you there. Do you promise not to harm my subjects? Cobra asked. Of course, my purpose is not to harm you. Robin said. Well, you won't understand, even if I'll let you see it. Cobra thought to himself. Then Cobra pressed a toad mechanism, and then the mechanism activated an underground corridor that suddenly appeared. What a hidden passage. No wonder I can't find it. It turns out to be hidden underground. Robin was also quite surprised. Robin took Cobra hostage and entered the cemetery. At this time, Robin's mind was on the historical text, so naturally he didn't notice Ling Fan following behind him. Ling Fan saw Robin go in, and then followed him in. It seems that Robin's purpose is still the historical text, so that's it. For the sake of the historical text, he pretended not to know me. If so, it fits Robin's character. Ling Fan guessed. After entering the cemetery and walking deep, Robin finally got what he wanted, and saw a large stone tablet. There were words on the stone tablet. These words were obviously ancient words that ordinary people could not understand. It seems that this is the historical text. It records the news about Hades. Robin then observed carefully and memorized the words completely. Then he turned around and looked at Cobra. You can't understand these things? Cobra was also very Huangshan. After all, Robin read with relish, as if he understood. I'm the orphan of O'Hara, the only person in the world who can understand the historical text, so I can understand it naturally. Robin also smiled and nodded. Ling Fen saw Robin saw the historical text and then walked out. King Cobra, Robin. Ling Fen called the two people and then looked at the two people. Cobra was shocked because he didn't expect that there would be someone else in this secret room. Robin was also shocked. She didn't expect that Ling Fen could catch up. After all, Crocodile personally held Ling Fen. Who are you? King Cobra asked. I'm Princess Vivi's friend. I'm responsible for rescuing Alabasta. Ling Fen said. Great. Cobra's eyes were full of hope. Robin, are you still pretending not to know me? Ling Fen asked. I have erased your bounty, and Sora is waiting for you not far away. You can say that the reason we came to the Grand Line is to find you. Ling Fan said, I know your purpose is the historical text, but, for the historical text, can you abandon your companions? Companions? Robin murmured, over the years, I have been living a wandering life. Although there is no bounty, I can finally live, but it is still very difficult. Although there is no bounty, the CP organization of the world government is setting traps for me all the time. I have to be careful. Lingfan, don't you really blame me? In the rainy land, I didn't recognize you in order to see this historical text as I wished. Robin also said apologetically. Lingfan smiled and said, of course I understand your purpose and your intention. As a historian and a scholar of O'Hara, you naturally have to take some responsibility. Now that Crocodile has been defeated by me, we just need to stop the rebels and the king's army from fighting, and everything will be over. Lingfan said. It seems that the war has already started. I wonder who is in charge now? Lingfan asked. It's Princess Wiwi. Lingfan said. What? Wiwi? Cobra was also shocked. Chapter 93, Victory in Alabasta. What? Vivi? Cobra was shocked. He never thought that his daughter was actually in charge of the situation. Don't worry, the current Vivi is no longer the Vivi of the past. She has the help of Jarvis. Lingfan said. Who is Jarvis? Cobra was a little confused at this time. Lingfan said, it's okay. Let's move forward and take a look. We will understand everything. By the way, Robin, where are the other members of Baroque Works? Lingfan asked. You mean other senior agents? Some of them have mixed into the army, but most of them are in front of the gate, waiting to stop you. Robin said. Stop us? It seems that Crocodile didn't underestimate me. It seems that he originally planned to imprison me, and in order to prevent me from leaving to rescue Albana, he arranged a variety of blockades. But now it seems that these blockades are a bit redundant. Under my army, everyone can only surrender. Lingfan said. Your army? What's the situation? Cobra and Robin were both confused at this time. Lingfan smiled and said, that's right. I have long seen through Crocodile's conspiracy, so I contacted my men with Dendenmashi early on. Now my men are almost here. By then, the king's army, the rebels and my men should soon decide the winner. Lingfan said. Everyone went to rescue Gaga and Bell first, and then met Ikelam who came to reinforce, and finally came to the palace. At this time, the one who was commanding the palace was naturally Princess Vivi. Of course, except for Lingfan, no one else could recognize Princess Vivi at all, because Princess Vivi was wearing Iron Man's armor. Is Vivi you? Cobra asked uncertainly. Father, it's me. At this time, Vivi automatically removed her helmet mask, revealing the face inside. It's Vivi. Father, let's greet each other later. The rebels have already attacked. Because Baroque Works was among them, the two sides naturally fought quickly, and Princess Vivi used Iron Man's armor to release a lot of tear gas. If you are hit by tear gas, you will keep crying and lose the ability to fight. Lion Power Earth Scroll. The golden lion lifted up the ground directly, and countless soldiers were trapped by the ground. Our goal is not to kill them, but to end the war. Lingfan kept reminding. However, because of the presence of Baroque Works, both sides did not stop and continued to attack recklessly. Lingfan found that there were pests among them, so he had to say, in that case, I'm sorry. Hegemony. Lingfan directly released his terrifying Hegemony Haki. Lingfan's Hegemony Haki has already reached perfection in the past 18 years. No one can be unaffected by Lingfan's Hegemony. Once the Hegemony Haki was released, the entire battlefield stagnated. Whether it was the king's army or the rebel army, they all fell down in the end. Of course, Lingfan expanded the range of the Conqueror's Haki, making the power of the Conqueror's Haki not so strong. In addition to those small fish falling down, the only one who was still standing was naturally the senior agent of Baroque Works and the leader of the rebel army, Kosha. How terrible. He actually killed tens of thousands of our troops with one blow. At this moment, Kosha didn't know what to say. Damn, who is this guy? The senior agents were naturally Mr. 1, Mr. 2, Miss Two Fingers, Mr. 4, Miss Christmas. The situation is already very clear. This guy's strength is far beyond our imagination. We must defeat him. Otherwise, all our efforts will be in vain. Mr. 1 said. Everyone was ready to attack Lingfan. At this moment, there was suddenly a cloud of dust all around. Countless pirates appeared around in an instant. These pirates all held the flag of the Avengers. The leaders were naturally the Red Ale Barrett, the World Devourer Valpo, and various giants. Lingfan had a lot of people under his command, and he easily surrounded the agents. Are you going to surrender? Or are you going to fight to the end? Lingfen asked. Then Lingfen grabbed Crocodile and threw him down. What? Question mark? This is the president. Mr. Zero is right. It must be him. Crocodile was defeated by him? What are we still struggling for? The enemies had long lost the confidence to continue fighting, and at this moment they dropped their weapons. Of course, some people still wanted to resist to the end. Lingfen made them see what a real strong man is. In the last hour, Lingfen completely calmed down the war. Who are you? Not only is your strength so strong, but your power is also so large. Cobra and others asked in surprise. Lingfen finally said, I'm Lingfen. Lingfen, the god of change? Lingfen? Lingfen, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. You are not that Lingfen, are you? Cobra asked. Yes, I'm that Lingfen. Lingfen nodded and answered affirmatively. Cobra took a breath. Although the man in front of him was younger than Crocodile, Crocodile would not be his opponent in terms of strength and power. If the man in front of him became his family, then Alabasta would naturally be worry-free for at least 50 years. Awesome. Awesome. Cobra finally praised. Lingfen, I didn't expect that after so many years, your strength and power have become so strong. Robin was also shocked. So, are you willing to join me? By the way, look at who that is. Lingfen pointed like this. Robin looked in the direction Lingfen pointed and found that it was a giant. Robin naturally knew who the person was. Robin. I finally see you. Zoro, Robin and Lingfen finally got together again. I didn't expect time to pass so quickly. In the blink of an eye, 18 years have passed. It's been another 8 years since we last met. The 3 of them exchanged greetings for a while, and Crocodile and others had woken up. It seems that all the plans have been shattered. Lingfen, you are really amazing. Crocodile smiled slightly, looking at Lingfen and said, Sand Crocodile, you only have 2 choices now, surrender or die. It's not a shame to surrender to me. You can't beat my men, right? After Lingfen finished speaking, Crocodile took a look. Red Ale Barrett is a legend on the sea. I have to say that your power is indeed terrifyingly strong. But don't forget that I'm not that afraid of death. What if I exchange the news about Pluto with you? Will you surrender? Lingfen asked. Chapter 94 Continue Sailing. Pluto? Are you talking about Pluto, one of the 3 great weapons in ancient times? Crocodile asked in surprise. Yes, I know where the design of Pluto is. Lingfen said. That's another matter. Crocodile's attitude changed immediately. In that case, what about your subordinates, who are unwilling to surrender? Lingfen asked. Naturally, they will become part of your power like me. But are you sure you know where the design of Pluto is? Crocodile asked again. Of course. Why would I lie to you? You have already lost to me. As long as you are willing to become my subordinate, the news of Pluto will be presented to you, and we will definitely go to the location of Pluto's design next. Lingfen's words made Crocodile very excited. Although the plan he had arranged for many years was shattered, Lingfen's words gave Crocodile a new direction. But I have to say this in advance. You must be willing to be my subordinate. If you want to escape, or attack your own people, the many strong men on the ship will not let you go. Lingfen warned. Okay, I know. Crocodile nodded, but Lingfen knew that Crocodile should not give up his little thoughts. Next, all of you will become Lingfen's Avenger subordinates, and I will naturally join as well. Crocodile said expressionlessly. In this way, not only Crocodile joined, but also Crocodile's Baroque Works senior agents, as well as the Million Elders, Billion Elders, and the Rebels. Many of them joined Lingfen. After Kosha finally realized that this was just a conspiracy of Crocodile, he was naturally very ashamed and apologized to Cobra in person. Then Kosha dismissed a large number of rebels, and many people joined Lingfen for a better life. After staying in Alabasta for a week, Lingfen used this time to reorganize his forces. Although their combat effectiveness did not increase much, the new members were able to integrate. Lingfen then promulgated the new system of the Alliance and personally took action. In a week, he had trained his men in a very good manner. On this day, there were many clouds in the sky. Lingfen put on Iron Man's mecha and flew into the air. Jarvis, is the weather today suitable for artificial rainfall? Very suitable. Are you sure you want artificial rainfall? Jarvis asked. Of course. Lingfen gave an affirmative answer. Then, Alabasta, which had been dry for many years, finally rained, and everyone's heart was full of hope. Afterwards, Lingfen, Vivi, Cobra and others spent another week digging a canal between Yuba and the Santa Dora River, and then saved Yuba. Alabasta was filled with happiness and peace, and no one was willing to rebel anymore. Lingfen then put forward his previous request. I apologize to you on behalf of Robin. One of my requests is to enter the Tomb of the King and browse the historical text. Robin has done this, so she has fulfilled the first condition. The second condition is to establish a branch of our Avengers in Alabasta. On the one hand, it can protect Alabasta, and on the other hand, we will use this place as a base of our power. Lingfen's contribution was so great that Cobra naturally agreed to Lingfen's request. Lingfen used Alabasta as a large base and transported a lot of supplies to the Drum Island, Little Garden, and Whiskey Peak that he had passed before, thus forming a supply line to Alabasta. If any pirates took this line, it would be relatively easy for them to join Lingfen's camp. Finally, Lingfen was almost ready, and peace had been restored in Alabasta. On this day, Lingfen planned to say goodbye to Cobra, Vivi and others. Cobra stopped Lingfen and said, Lord Lingfen, what do you think of Wee Wee? Lingfen didn't understand what Cobra meant for a moment and replied, very good. Cobra said awkwardly, then are you willing to marry Wee Wee? Poof. Lingfen almost spit out the tea in his mouth. After all this time, Cobra's purpose turned out to be this. Princess Wee Wee, your age difference with me is a bit big, right? I'm already in my 20s. Lingfen was 8 years old before, and now after 18 years, he is 26 years old. But Wee Wee is not even 20 years old yet. Well, age is not a problem. Feelings can also be cultivated. You have no problem. Cobra also said with a smile. Don't worry, Cobra. Lingfen patted Cobra on the shoulder and said, from now on in Alabasta, the white side is the Navy protecting you, and the black side is the Avengers protecting you. We will never let anyone bully you. I treat Vivi as a friend, and I will naturally do something for her. Things like feelings still depend on the parties involved. We can talk about it when Vivi is older. Lingfen was a bit careless. After saying this, Cobra no longer insisted. In this case, I can't say anything more. Although Alabasta is not rich, this is our intention. Cobra then took a lot of resources and gave them to Lingfen. Thank you very much. After all, it was an intention, so Lingfen had to accept it. During the days in Alabasta, Lingfen also took Robin to find another historical text. It was in the desert of Alabasta. Lingfen found it after 2 days of searching. Robin was naturally very happy. Everything was done and ready. Lingfen and others had already raised the anchor and set sail, ready to set off. Thank you, Lord Lingfen. Princess Vivi was full of tears. If it weren't for Lingfen, Crocodile would have gotten this country long ago. Well, you have another condition. Ikelam also asked. Live well. Try to live better and better. This is my condition. Lingfen shouted. Then everyone in Alabasta was grateful to Lingfen. In the end, Lingfen's fleet finally continued to sail and left Alabasta. After sailing for a few days, Lingfen and Zoro shared everything that had happened in the past 18 years with Robin, and Robin also told Lingfen about her experiences over the years. Lingfen was very heartbroken. After Lingfen negotiated with the world government, Robin was not rewarded. Although her life was much better, she still had to be very vigilant, because although there was no Navy and people, the CP group was eyeing Robin. CP is an organization directly under the world government, and it is on the same level as the Navy. Robin, I'm here, and I won't let anyone bully you. Lingfen promised. Yeah. Robin blushed and nodded. Lingfen meant a lot to her. He was not only a companion, but also a relative. Chapter 95 Hawkeye Mihawk. Dozens of warships were advancing neatly in the sea, and a pirate flag was hung on each warship. Avengers was written on the pirate flag. If someone saw the whole logo, they would be terrified. After all, this was a newly emerging pirate group, the Avengers Pirates. The leader of the pirate group was one of the 7 warlords of the sea, known as the God of Change, Lingfen. Some people said that Lingfen was the strongest among the 7 warlords of the sea, and some people said that Lingfen should not stay in the 7 warlords of the sea at all and should become one of the 4 emperors who ruled the world. However, at this moment, Lingfen was on the deck of the warship, helping. The weather in the Grand Line changed suddenly. The sky that was clear just now was suddenly overcast, and after lightning and thunder, fist-sized hail fell. This hail is also difficult to encounter in the sea on weekdays, but it happens to be encountered in the Grand Line. Boom, boom, boom. Hail hit the hull of the warship again and again. Although it did not cause any impact on the warship itself, in order to avoid the hail, the route gradually deviated from the original target. Even with the record pointer, it was useless for a while. Lord Lingfen, what should we do? Zoro asked. Most of these warships were snatched from the navy, and the quality should be taken care of. We deviate slightly from the target, and wait until this bad weather is over, and then follow the record pointer again. Lingfen also immediately issued an order. Under Lingfen's leadership, the fleet avoided the bad weather, but left the original sea area. Fortunately, the fleet was not dispersed. When Lingfen said sail again, all the ships caught up again. No, where is Robin? Lingfen counted all the warships, but he didn't find Robin. He had just reunited, so he couldn't be separated again, right? In a hurry, Lingfen immediately transformed into Iron Man and flew into the air. Jarvis, help me scan if there is Robin around. Lingfen said. The scan is complete. Robin is in the northwest. Jarvis said. Lingfen flew to the northwest without saying anything, scanning Robin's whereabouts with radar. Soon, Lingfen arrived at the area where Robin might have fallen into the water, but he still did not see Robin's whereabouts. This Jarvis? Where is he? Lingfen asked again. Here he is. Jarvis reminded, and then the sea surface began to shake violently, and a very huge sea king suddenly rushed out of the water, obviously with malicious intent. The scan shows that Robin is still alive, but was swallowed into the stomach of this shark-like creature in front of him. Jarvis' voice came again. What? Lingfen was furious, looking at the sea king in front of him and said, spit out Robin quickly. Jarvis, use the cutting beam to split this monster. Lingfen said angrily. Hey, there seems to be another person in his stomach. As soon as Jarvis finished speaking, a figure broke out of his body. The man held Robin in one hand and held a huge cross-shaped black knife in the other hand, and it was obvious that he directly cut open the body of the fierce Sea King. The blood of the Sea Kings seemed to dye the sea red, and then a raft fell out of the mouth of the Sea Kings. The man threw Robin to Lingfen, and Lingfen naturally caught Robin accurately. Robin, are you okay? Lingfen asked anxiously. I'm fine. This gentleman saved me. Robin looked at the man gratefully. Lingfen then looked over, and he naturally found that the man in front of him was extraordinary. The man was standing steadily on his boat at this time. Western hat, black knife, riding a small boat that can only be ridden by one person, a man as sharp as an eagle. Is it you? The strongest swordsman in the world? Hawky Mihawk? Lingfen was not sure at first. After all, there are too many people in this world who dress similarly. But when he saw Hawker's skills and saw his eyes, Lingfen was naturally sure that the person in front of him was one of the 7 warlords of the sea, the strongest swordsman in the world. It seems that you know me. If I guess correctly, you also came to the calm belt unknowingly to avoid the bad weather? Mihawk asked, as if their meeting this time was an accident. Yes, we want to continue to move towards the Grand Line. It is a 1 in a billion chance to meet you, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. It is really an honor. Lingfen also smiled slightly. Oh, I seem to have an impression of you. You seem to be one of the new 7 warlords of the sea, right? What a coincidence. I didn't expect to meet you in the vast ocean. Mihawk's mouth corners also rose slightly. The sea is so vast. It is a 1 in a billion chance to meet in the vast and boundless sea. It is even more incredible that 2 7 warlords of the sea can run into each other. Thank you brother Hawky for saving my friend Robin. Why don't we come to my ship and have a drink? Lingfen directly invited Hawky. I have always been alone. Aren't you afraid that I will chop you with a black knife? Hawky's sharp eyes locked on Lingfen. But who is Lingfen? Having fought against the Vice Admiral 18 years ago, he naturally wouldn't feel any fear. Of course I'm not afraid. If brother Hawkeye wants to chop me, I'll be there for you anytime. But why don't you go meet the other sea masters? Ling Fan asked. Others? Hawkeye didn't seem to be very familiar with the members of Ling Fan's forces. Ling Fan casually said, Crocodile, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, Red Earl Redfield, and Barrett, Golden Lion. You must know all of these people. They are all on my ship. Hearing these people's names, even Hawkeye showed a proud smile. It's really interesting. It turns out that all the masters of Impel Down have been gathered by you. You have gathered so many masters? I wonder what level of strength you have reached, brother. Guess how so many masters can willingly become your subordinates. In the vast ocean, the most trustworthy thing is naturally one's own strength. If one does not have extremely strong strength, one will naturally not be able to suppress his subordinates. Hawkeye was once a swordsman on the Pirate King's ship, so he naturally knew this, so he couldn't help but feel more curious about Ling Fan's strength. I'm becoming more and more interested in you. Hawkeye smiled and said, but let's have a drink first. Floating on the sea makes me a little greedy. Ha. Welcome. Ling Fan sent Robin back, and Hawkeye waved the black knife on his ship, and actually used the sword energy to drive the boat directly to the warship. Your formation is really large. I don't know if the 4 emperors have so many troops and formations. Hawkeye Mihawk said. It's not the quantity of soldiers that matters, but the quality. My companions still need training, and the tempering of war. Ling Fan didn't have any arrogance in his heart, and Mihawk nodded secretly. This Ling Fan is really as steady as a rock, and he is definitely not simple. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 96, Battle with Hawkeye. Soon, Ling Fan invited Hawkeye to the main ship. Because the bottom of the warship has ceased and there will be no seekings to disturb everyone. Oh. What a rare guest. I didn't expect that Hawkeye Mihawk has also come to our alliance. The person who spoke was naturally Barrett. They had been on Roger's ship before, so they were naturally more familiar with each other. Mihawk's pupils shrank, and a sense of danger came over him. Hawkeye immediately drew out his supreme sword, the Black Blade Knight. Drawing out the Black Blade Knight to block in front of him, Barrett had covered his fist with armed color and swung a punch. Knowing Barrett's character, Ling Fan did not stop him, but Barrett's body was obviously much larger than Mihawk's. When everyone thought Mihawk would be knocked away by a punch, Mihawk only took a few steps back and raised his eyebrows and asked, Barrett, after all, we know each other. There is no need to greet each other like this, right? Mihawk said. Haha. It seems that your skills have not declined. Barrett put away his fist and stood aside. We are not very familiar with each other. After all, you don't use a sword. Mihawk is a swordsman, so he naturally likes to spar with people who use swords, so he has a closer relationship with Rayleigh. As for Barrett, Ling Fan can guess that he should not be very popular on Roger's ship. Brother Hawkeye is our guest, don't neglect him. Ling Fan said casually, and Barrett's smile gradually solidified. He knew what Ling Fan looked like when he got angry, so he naturally didn't dare to take risks. Is it the swordsman on Roger's ship? Redfield and Ski naturally got to know Hawkeye. Those who were not familiar with him naturally got to know him, and those who had never met him naturally had a chance to meet him. Drink, drink. Ling Fan invited all the masters together, and naturally they drank happily. Among them, there was Crocodile, but Crocodile was obviously a little depressed. He was not in a good mood. After all, many years of plans were ruined by Ling Fan. I see. It seems that even the Shichibuke have joined your camp, which is really scary. If the world government and the navy knew about this, I'm afraid they would do everything they can to destroy you. Mihawk guessed. Ha, the Shichibuke agreement doesn't say that it's forbidden to annex other Shichibuke forces, but it just doesn't allow mutual slaughter. If others surrender voluntarily, I can't refuse, right? Ling Fan did this, naturally taking advantage of the loopholes in the Shichibuke agreement. Haha. It's really interesting. This is the first time I've seen Shichibuke who don't take the Shichibuke agreement seriously. It's interesting. Hawkeye laughed surprisingly and then said, I think a friend of mine would like to get to know you, so I went out to sea to test your background. Lingfen smiled and guessed, could it be Shanks? Oh, you guessed it so quickly? Hawkeye was also a little surprised. You don't seem to have many friends? Lingfen shook his head and smiled bitterly. Yes, today we have drunk wine and talked about things. Next, let me try your skills. Mihawk then focused his eyes on Lingfen for a long time and then asked, your eyes tell me that you are a powerful swordsman, but forgive my poor eyesight, why didn't I see your sword? Hawkeye asked. I'm the sword. When I need it, he will appear. Lingfen was not afraid of the momentum emanating from Hawkeye and pushed his momentum up. Hawkeye raised his mouth again and said, what a good one who will appear. I, Mihawk, will see how strong you are among the 7 warlords of the sea. I hope you can teach me. After that, Mihawk saluted and then drew out his black knife again. Then I won't be polite. Lingfen then shouted lightly, Sato super transformation form. Fusion. Deadpool. Then the familiar white light instantly enveloped Lingfen, and Lingfen turned into Deadpool, but he didn't have a red combat tights on his body, just 2 more knives on his back. After transforming again and again, Lingfen has mastered the method of fusion transformation based on himself. Now he can obtain the powerful ability of the transformed object without changing his appearance. 2 more knives in an instant? It's very strange. But since we are going to fight, let's do it. Mihawk launched the attack first. He swung his black knife. The speed was not fast at the beginning, but after 2 or 3 slashes, a green air condensed on the black knife. This green sword air instantly accelerated the speed of the black knife. After 3 or 4 seconds, Mihawk's sword swinging speed had become extremely fast, and then several crescent-shaped sword airs attacked Lingfen. Swish, swish, swish. The sword air slashed at Lingfen, and Lingfen naturally would not sit and wait for death. He immediately drew out the 2 knives in his hand, and his left and right hands began to swing quickly. At the same time, he turned his wrists, and Deadpool's iconic bullet blocking sword technique appeared. This move can not only block bullets, but now it can also resist sword air. Hawkeye's green sword energy was completely blocked by Lingfen's sword, and then it seemed to be controlled by Lingfen himself. Lingfen turned around for a long time, and finally sent out the sword energy again. Good blocking. Mihawk was not angry but happy, raised his sword high again, and then slashed from top to bottom. Mihawk is worthy of being the world's #1 swordsman. With such a close distance, he casually slashed and slashed again. Awesome. Lingfen praised again. At this time, Lingfen's 2 swords were also covered with a layer of energy. Unlike Mihawk's green, Lingfen's sword energy was black. To be honest, Lingfen's sword energy was more in line with the temperament of this black knife. Let's see how good your sword skills are. Mihawk blurted out, and took the initiative to attack Lingfen, stabbing, chopping, and picking. Mihawk's sword was very fast, and Lingfen could only use his observation haki to capture it. In order to show his sword skills, Lingfen naturally used his own means to resolve Mihawk's moves one by one. The 2 of them became more and more energetic and excited as they fought, but it was the warship that suffered. There was no one on the warship at this time. When gods fight, innocent people are bound to be hurt. The warship had long been regarded as a burial object by Lingfen's men. The strongest slash armament haki hardened. Lingfen used the armament haki to cover his double swords, and then blocked in front of himself. In the end, although he was chopped off with a bang, his body itself did not suffer any damage. The 2 of them did not feel tired at all, and they were still very happy. It was unknown how long they fought. When the entire warship was almost completely sunk by the aftermath of the 2, Lingfen made a suggestion. Brother Hawkeye, we can't tell the winner like this. You and I learn from each other while fighting. Now we have become friends, and we really can't bear to attack each other. Next, it's best to use each other's most powerful move, and decide the winner with 1 strike, right? Lingfen suggested. Chapter 97 Entering the town of Gaia Demon Valley. No problem, but I wonder if your warship can hold up. Hawkeye asked. What's the point of talking about these little things? Don't ruin our fun of fighting. Lingfen had to fight with Hawkeye, and he had benefited a lot from the battle with Hawkeye. He naturally wanted to see the strongest blow of the strongest swordsman at that time. In that case, let's decide the winner. Brother Lingfen, I have to say that, except for that guy Shanks, you are the only one who can make me so satisfied. Hawkeye's mouth corners slightly raised, and after the voice fell, he swung the black knife with both hands. Swish, swish, swish. The black knife made a sound of breaking through the air. Every time it slashed, the black knife was faster. After slashing 18 times, the black blade was completely covered with green light. It was obvious that Hawkeye had accumulated his strongest slash. I'll come to. Lingfen then pulled out his two samurai swords and placed them on his left and right sides. The swords reflected a dazzling light in the sun, giving people a sense of solemnity and coldness. Go. Hawkeye finally swung the black knife, and countless sword energy attacked Lingfen. The slashing shockwave mixed with sword energy was extremely powerful, and the entire warship was almost destroyed by this slashing. Lingfen also took the lead, and the two knives in his hands had already been swung out, and shouted, "Double split slashing wave." A slashing shockwave that was completely no less powerful than Hawkeye's, also mixed with supreme sword energy, finally collided with Hawkeye's green shockwave. There was a loud boom sound, and the warship under the feet of the two people directly clicked and broke into several pieces. But even so, the fight between the two has not stopped. They are still fighting with their strongest moves. The slashing waves of the two are still facing each other, and they have not stopped. The entire warship broke even more severely. In a few seconds, the entire warship has been broken into dozens of pieces. It can be seen how strong the aftermath of the battle between the two is. I never thought that there is a swordsman who can match me in this world. There are always people who are better than me. Hawkeye's originally cold eyes were rekindled with heat. Me too, brother. Hawkeye's swordsmanship is indeed unparalleled in the world. But next time, I should be able to find a way to defeat you. Lingfen said. Haha. Stop it. If it continues for a while, neither you nor I will have a foothold. Hawkeye finally put away the black knife. Lingfen naturally put away his samurai sword as well. The fight between the two ended just like that, but both of them knew that, if they continued to fight, they would probably lose the vitality of both sides. On the sea, it is a hard truth to be reserved. Otherwise, even if you win, you will encounter an enemy who stabs you in the back, and you will eventually die. That's right, let's not hurt the relationship anymore. You must be tired after fighting for so long. Let's continue drinking on the boat. Lingfen invited. Okay. Hawkeye then stepped on the raft and returned to the deck of his warship with Lingfen and started drinking and chatting again. The two of them unconsciously became familiar with each other. When they were drunk, they fought on the sea. After the alcohol wore off, they returned to the deck to drink. They were indeed heroes of the time. They fought and got drunk for 3 days and 3 nights before they fell asleep. When Lingfen woke up, Hawkeye Mihawk had already left. Lingfen thought it was a pity. He originally wanted to integrate Hawkeye into his own forces, but thinking that Hawkeye had always been a loner, he finally decided not to force it. Lord Lingfen, where should we go next? Everyone on the ship asked. Lingfen looked at the record pointer. The pointer seemed to have some problems at this time. Although it pointed in one direction, it pointed to the air, which made people feel a little incredible. Don't worry about it. We will go wherever the record pointer points. There must be a way when the car reaches the mountain, and the boat will naturally go straight when it reaches the bridge. Under Lingfen's order, the entire fleet once again began to move towards the next destination of the Grand Line. After sailing on the sea for a few days, nothing special happened this time. However, Robin couldn't help but think of the tragedy of O'Hara. Such a tragedy was caused by the Navy and the world government, and Robin has been unable to resist for many years. Seeing that Robin was worried, Lingfen naturally stepped forward to comfort her. Robin, don't think too much. I will take you to find the historical texts one by one. Defeating the Navy and the world government is the origin of the alliance. We exist for revenge. Lingfen's words made Robin feel much more at ease. Can I still be the same as before? Robin asked quietly. Of course. Lingfen naturally gave an affirmative answer. Then Robin hugged Lingfen, and Lingfen soon felt his shoulders become wet. Although Robin was a little too direct, Lingfen knew that he was one of Robin's only remaining relatives, and only Robin's feelings could be understood, even if she didn't say it. Lingfen touched Robin's head and said, Robin, you are not alone. At least Zoro and I are here. We have more companions. With me here, the world government and the navy will not dare to touch you easily. Well, you two are the only relatives I have in this world. If it weren't for you, I might still have to become someone I don't like in order to survive. Robin was talking about his work as vice president of Crocodile. You are doing this for the historical text. You and Crocodile are just using each other. There is no other way. Don't feel guilty, or otherwise you will only get more and more tired. Be happy, okay? Don't forget the smile that Zoro taught you. Lingfen finally calmed Robin down. As time passed, the record pointer finally pointed straight up to the sky. Obviously, the next island was Sky Island, but Lingfen did not intend to move all the troops to Sky Island. Since Sky Island is above, then Gear Island should be nearby. Lingfen then merged with Iron Man's mecha and searched around the surrounding seas. God will not let down those who work hard. Under Jarvis's scan, Lingfen successfully found an island. Gear Island. This is an island with many pirates. It should not be difficult to occupy this island. Lingfen then asked his men to be patient, and he and Robin first flew to Gear to find out the truth. The town on Gear Island is called Mogu Town. Walking on the main street of the town, Lingfen could feel a lot of unfriendly eyes. Let's go to the local tavern first, Lingfen said. Well, listen to you. Robin obeyed Lingfen's words. Boss, 2 glasses of beer and 2 servings of meat. Lingfen was very generous and gave the boss a lot of Bailey, but this attracted the attention of more pirates. Chapter 98, Conflict in the Tavern. Looks like a big shot is here. Looks like he's very rich. There's a chick next to him. Looks pretty good. Ha. Pretty girl, I'll buy you a drink. How about that? Don't hang out with this guy. He looks weak. A very ferocious drunk staggered and raised a big wooden cup to Robin. Although Robin felt disgusted, he didn't show it. Lingfen sighed. Looks weak. Are you talking about me? Looks like I'm really looked down upon. The bar owner then brought out the meat and wine. You should be more generous and ignore these people. They live on the edge of a knife. Everyone in this town is a pirate. If you are a traveler, try to talk less and be more patient. The bar owner also said kindly. I won't bother with a group of pirates who don't have much bounty. Lingfen didn't care so much. He drank a glass with Robin and then started eating by himself. Although Lingfen ignored those vicious pirates, the pirates thought Lingfen was an easy target, so they came over step by step. Boy, didn't you hear what we said? Our boss wants to invite the girl next to you to have a couple of drinks. Yeah. If you know what's good for you, don't worry about it. The pirates put their hands on Lingfen's shoulders again, threatening him without saying anything. Lingfen shook his head and said, I really don't want to do anything, but if you insist on seeking your own death, then I can't do anything about it. Haha. Did you hear that? I heard it. He actually said we were seeking our own death. Just kidding. In Magic Valley Town, we have the final say. One of the pirates had already taken the lead and was ready to kill Lingfen with a musket in his hand. In that case, Robin, I'll do it. Wait for me a moment. Lingfen then snapped his fingers, and with a snap, everyone seemed to be frozen. That's right, Lingfen used Quicksilver's ability, and his supersonic speed allowed Lingfen to shuttle around every pirate. What Lingfen did was very simple. He just used his own strength to throw all the pirates out. After everything was done, Lingfen returned to his original position and continued to eat meat and drink. Dong. All the pirates were easily thrown out of the door by Lingfen. How is it possible? We were just in the tavern? Yeah. How did he run to the street? Could it be that kid? It's so weird. Run. Only that guy can deal with him. All the pirates ran away happily, and there were only 3 people left in the tavern. In addition to Lingfen and Robin, there was only the owner of the tavern. So you are a master. Sorry for your disrespect. The tavern owner also said very politely, however, please be careful. We have a pirate here who will attack whoever has a high bounty, and his methods are extremely cruel. All the pirates who are targeted by him will not have a good end in the end. Oh, there is such a pirate? It seems that he is the bully of Mogu Town. So if you defeat him? Lingfen asked. Yes. If you defeat him, you will definitely be able to stand firm in this town. The tavern owner was talking when a figure walked into the tavern. The figure immediately made a sound. I heard that a very powerful man came, right? The tavern owner heard the voice and immediately responded, it's him. He is coming. Sir, you must be careful. Okay, I will. Ling Fan nodded and responded, then looked at Robin. Be careful. Robin said with concern. Don't worry, you know my strength. Ling Fan didn't care much. After all, he could be said to be immortal. The pirate gradually approached the bar, ate a few bites of meat, drank some wine, and then suddenly attacked Ling Fan. From the voice that broke through the air, it can be judged that the pirate's strength is quite strong. Hello. Welcome to Magic Valley Town. My name is Dorrit. The man who called himself Dorrit punched Ling Fan. The bar owner couldn't bear to watch it anymore. No one in the entire Magic Valley Town could withstand Dorrit's attack. However, the scene that happened next shocked the bar owner. Ling Fan grabbed Dorrit's wrist with his hand as steady as a crab claw. Even if Dorrit tried his best, even holding his face until it turned red, he still couldn't break free from Ling Fan's restraints. How can this kid be so strong? Is he also a devil fruit ability user? Dorrit decided not to hide his strength at this point. After all, if he continued, he would be embarrassed. There were already many spectators outside the tavern. The whole body of Naruto in front of him changed unexpectedly. A pair of horns grew out of his head immediately. His skin turned dark instantly. His feet turned into hooves. His nose turned into a bull's nose. It was obvious that Naruto was an animal type bull fruit ability user. Naruto shouted and threw Ling Fan away. Awesome, you actually have such power. It's really good. Ling Fan couldn't help but praise. Next, I will make you leave the whole world completely. Hell crash. Naruto ran over and used his not so sharp horns to knock Ling Fan away directly. Great. You dare to fight me head on. I like it. Ling Fan showed a playful smile and unknowingly merged with Hulk. Roar. Ling Fan let out a shocking roar and took a step forward and easily grabbed the horns on Naruto's head. Ha. Ling Fan exerted a little force and Naruto's collision was stopped. The audience around was also shocked. No one has ever been able to stop Dorrit's attack. This guy's definitely not an ordinary person. Yes. Dorrit is an animal type fruit ability user. This guy can actually fight against the animal type. I wonder if he is also a fruit ability user. If not, it's too scary. Dorrit used more power again, trying to force Ling Fan back again, but found that his strength was like a depressed sea. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't shake Ling Fan. Strange. What's going on? Question mark? I've never encountered such a weird thing. Dorrit also complained loudly. Ha. There is only one reason, that is, you are weaker than me. Ling Fan then shouted. Ha. The endless power instantly knocked Dorrit away. How is it possible? Question mark? Dorrit's huge body was actually knocked away and finally went straight through the tavern and finally fell into the manger and fainted. Too scary. Who is this guy? Question mark? All the pirates looked at Ling Fan in fear. Chapter 99. Entering Demon Valley Town. Don't worry, I have no ill will towards you. I just want you to submit to me. Submitting to me is not a shameful thing. With my strength, you have no choice but to submit. As soon as Ling Fan spoke, the pirates ran out in panic. It was obvious that they knew Ling Fan's strength and didn't want to be controlled by him. 2 rounds of flowers blooming. Robin used her fruit ability directly on the side, and the pirate's feet were firmly locked by Robin's arms. Everyone, don't be so anxious to leave. Let's get to know each other and make the decision. Ling Fan naturally planned to reveal his identity. My name is Ling Fan, the god of change. Ling Fan said lightly. Ling Fan. No way. Just a bounty of 2 billion. A mess in Impel Down. Destroy the 7 warlords of the Judicial Island? No wonder even Naruto was defeated by you. If it was Ling Fan, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, it would be easy to understand. After another comparison, everyone was sure that Ling Fan was not talking nonsense. No one had expected that they would meet a 7 warlords of the sea in Mogu Town. Ling Fan asked very directly, are you willing to surrender? Of course. You are a hero among our pirates. Hero? Where did you get that from? Ling Fan felt a little strange. How did he become a hero among pirates after just a few words? Your deeds have spread all over the world, and news about you is also circulating in the Grand Line. Everyone says that you are the strongest of the 7 warlords of the sea. We are very happy to be able to join your forces. How could we refuse? Don't you know that Dorrit is one of your most obsessed fans? If he knew that it was Lord Lingfen who defeated him personally, he would feel honored. He said one thing before revealing his identity and another after revealing his identity, but it can be felt that this group of pirates really worship Lingfen. Lingfen naturally did not make things difficult for them. After letting them surrender, he immediately sent a signal to his fleet. My men will enter the Magic Valley town. From now on, the entire Gare Island will be the island of my forces. If any navy dares to attack, I will protect you. Lingfen is fighting against the Navy World Government, so naturally he will fight to the end. Next, Lingfen's fleet landed in Jaya, and his endless men finally occupied the town of Mogu. Lingfen also ordered people to establish a branch of the Avengers in the town of Mogu, and planted the flag in Mogu. In this way, the entire Mogu town was also considered a part of Lingfen's power. At this time, his men report to Lord Lingfen. The record pointer is still pointing to our heads. I don't know if the pointer is broken. Lingfen said, of course it's not broken, but the next island is in the air. If other people want to go to the Sky Island, they should take the Sky Current. That kind of current is extremely dangerous and must have a top-level navigator. As for us, it's much simpler. Let Lord Shiki control our main ship to fly up. Possessing the ability of the Golden Lion is very convenient. Just fly directly to the Sky Island. Does the Sky Island really exist? Lingfen? Robin asked uncertainly. Yes. Lingfen then pointed to the sky and said, a few hundred years ago, part of the island of Gaia was sent up to a height of 10,000 meters by the surging ocean current, and finally became an empty island. Of course, there is more than one empty island in the world. There are many empty islands formed by chance, but naturally very few people know about it. By the way, Robin, there is also a historical text there, so we must go there as well. Lingfen said. Even if there is no such thing, I still plan to go. After all, it looks very exciting. Robin nodded and immediately went to prepare. Robin really likes adventure. Lingfen also laughed involuntarily. All the personnel were ready. Lingfen specially asked all the masters to come to the main ship this time and let his men stay in Mogu town, because Lingfen did not ride the surging ocean current, and he would come down when the time came. I'm ready, Master Lingfen. We can fly up. Shiji was ready. Then float up. We'll talk after we enter the clouds. After Lingfen gave the order, the main ship slowly floated in the air and finally flew high into the sky. The pirates in Mogu town all opened their eyes wide. Some of them had heard of the Golden Lion, some had heard of the floating fruit, and some had only heard of Lingfen. Soon, the ship disappeared from people's sight. Finally, everyone floated into the clouds. Although the tonnage of the warship was very high, it did not fall from the clouds due to its weight. How amazing. A warship carrying so many of us can actually float on the clouds. The Red Earl was also amazed. Could it be that the Golden Lion is using the floating fruit? That's why we continue to float? Barrett looked at Shiki and asked. Of course I'm not controlling the main ship. It's obvious that this cloud can lift us up. The Golden Lion said. Is this the Sky Island? Crocodile asked. No, this is not an empty island. It's just the White Sea. The upper layer is the empty island. However, the clouds are densely covered above our heads. It takes a huge impact force to enter the clouds, but it is very likely to cause damage to us. In my opinion, we should continue to move forward along the Sea of Clouds. There should be other ways to enter the empty island above, Lingfen said. In that case, everyone control the warships to move forward, Robin said. After sailing on the clouds for a while, everyone found a waterfall. The waterfall did not leave water, but liquid clouds. Under the waterfall is a huge door with 4 big characters written on it, the Gate of Heaven. This is the entrance to the empty island. If you want to go to the empty island, you must pay a ticket, otherwise you will be identified as a prisoner. Lingfen also told everyone what he knew. Why do you feel like you have been here before and seem to be very familiar with this place? Robin said with a smile. That's natural. After all, I'm the powerful and omniscient Lord Lingfen. Lingfen boasted and made up his mind. Then a little old woman with wings on her back took a camera and started to take pictures of everyone. What's going on? The old woman began to introduce herself. I'm the monitor of the gate of heaven. My name is Amazon. Are you here for sightseeing or fighting? Everyone naturally looked at Ling Fan, with Ling Fan as the main focus. We are not here for sightseeing, nor for fighting. Our goal is to defeat your god, Enel. Ling Fan said directly. Shh. Amazon also made a hushing gesture awkwardly and said, keep your voice down. The gods will hear you. Chapter 100 Entering Sky Island. We just want to fight him, so it doesn't matter whether he hears or not. Ling Fan didn't take it to heart. Although Enel has the thunder fruit, Ling Fan is not afraid of him. It doesn't matter. If you want to go to the upper level, please pay the fee to enter the kingdom of heaven first. Each person is 1 billion ikes. This is the law. Amazon said. 1 billion? Everyone was shocked. How much would it cost to carry so many people on a ship? It should be possible to enter without spending money, right? Ling Fan asked directly. It's not that Ling Fan has no money, but Ling Fan has no need to spend money here. His purpose is to induce Enel to fight him, not to coexist peacefully with Sky Island. Yes, it's up to you whether I can enter or not, because I'm not a gatekeeper or a guard. I just want to ask what you think. Amazon said. Let's go. Ling Fan said. But how can we get to Sky Island? As soon as Robin asked, a very huge shrimp claw appeared in the cloud and grabbed the warship everyone was riding. These are the famous express shrimps from the White Sea. With them, you will reach the Sky Island very quickly, Amazon said. Then, they felt a burst of lightning, and the wind passed by everyone's ears. The entire warship rushed to a higher place along the cloud flow at a very fast speed. The original high-level cloud flow turned into a waterfall and fell down, but the express shrimps were able to go upstream. The speed was really shocking. After a long time, they finally saw the end of the cloud road. At the last moment, the express shrimps threw the warship out. Golden Lion, hurry. In order to prevent the warship from disintegrating, Ling Fan immediately let the Golden Lion take control of the warship again, and then let the warship fall slowly and steadily. The express shrimps made a beautiful turn and returned to the cloud flow, but everyone on the warship was scared. At this moment, the scene they expected appeared in front of them. It's an island. No problem. It's definitely a sky island. Although everyone had always heard Ling Fan say that there was a sky island, they really believed it when they really saw it. The sky island in front of them was hidden in the blue sky and the sea of clouds, which was very dreamy. Let's go. After we reach the beach, we will drop anchor and stop the ship. We have already reached the other half of Gaia, Ling Fan said. Then his men will obey his orders. Every ship that comes in through the gate of heaven will land on Angel Beach. After the warships are parked, most people get off the ship, and only a small number of people stay on the ship to guard the ship. It seems that this place is like the sea with floating islands on the ground. I wonder if we can reach here by using the sky current? Robin asked. I think it's natural. After all, there is only one sky island around. Ling Fan replied. By the way, after we got here, the gods here have already noticed us. Redfield, how is this guy's observation hacky? Ling Fan asked. Not bad. He is not going in the same direction as me, but he can cover the entire island with his observation hacky, which is really amazing. The Red Earl also praised. However, this guy, I guess we can't let him join, because he is not an ordinary pirate, he is a person who calls himself a god. Ling Fan said. God? Is there really such a thing? Golden Lion and Red Earl and others are all legendary strongmen, so naturally they would not think that such a thing exists in this world. Where should we go next? Everyone asked. Just wait, I think we will soon attract their gods to meet, Ling Fan said. Ling Fan was very accurate. Not long after, a large number of soldiers could be seen crawling forward. These soldiers all wore white berets and had small wings of Sky Island residents behind them. Why are those people crawling forward? I don't know. Everyone stop moving forward. The beret officer waved his hand and then said, hello. Hasso. I'm the captain of the beret team, Captain McKinley. That's you. You are the 7 illegal immigrants from Qinghe reported by the supervisor, right? You must accept the punishment of heaven. Sanction of heaven? What is that? Robin asked. We have received the photos taken by Amazon, the supervisor of the Gate of Heaven, with the image bay. The captain of the beret took out the photos of Ling Fan and others. I see. What good things did the stinky old woman do at that time? Crocodile's eyes narrowed. If he had known this, he would have killed the stinky old woman. Ling Fan, it seems that you have known this would happen a long time ago. Crocodile asked. Of course, we don't have the time to pay them the entry fee. Ling Fan replied. You don't have to panic. Illegal entry is only a level 11 crime in the sanctions of heaven. If you are willing to accept the punishment, you will immediately become a safe tourist. Captain McKinley said. You only need to pay 10 times the entrance fee on the spot, and the crimes you have committed can be written off on the spot. Captain McKinley said. What a joke. The Golden Lion snorted coldly. Let me explain in advance that our White Beret unit is a direct subordinate unit of the priest. Resisting our own unit will only increase the crime. Please note. Captain McKinley warned. Then, Captain McKinley began to doubt his life. Because at least 3 suffocating auras suddenly pressed down on him, and this momentum made him unable to breathe. Boy, if it wasn't for Ling Fan's signal, I would only need 1 second to kill you. Barrett also raised the corners of his mouth and sneered. Retreat. Retreat. Captain McKinley immediately led the White Berets to evacuate. It was the first time he felt so scared. Even if everyone's lives are sacrificed, this group of people cannot be controlled at all. In the end, it will be nothing but a sacrifice in vain. When did the people of King He become so powerful? When the White Berets retreated completely, a bolt of lightning suddenly struck from the sky, and there was a crack sound, and the lightning struck Ling Fan. Enelu, are you finally taking action? Ling Fan pulled out his Captain America shield and easily blocked Enelu's lightning. What is this? Everyone asked. Let's go. Let's go to our Kaido. Enel, who calls himself a god, has invited us. How can we refuse? Ling Fan then sensed it and pointed his finger in a direction. From Angel Beach, you can roughly see that there is another island nearby. That's our Kaido where Enel is. He invited me, so I won't run away. Ling Fan was very interested in this. I'll go too. Crocodile took the initiative to go, but he was afraid that Ling Fan would die on the way, so he couldn't tell him the secret of Hades. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.